Official start. Officially start it right here. Hey, everybody, this is Doc Mack from the Galloping Ghost Arcade out in Brookfield, Illinois. Today is Wednesday, January 6, 2021. We are here down at Galloping Ghost Productions. I am joined by the best Mortal Kombat 9 player, Smoke player.
Yeah, don't get that twisted.
You can't, yeah. Well, you were pretty good, man.
Yeah, I was up there.
Nobody could jump against
For
you.
sure. No, that was for sure. I let people know that this in the casuals, no sandbagging, and then in tournament they just never jumped. That's how it goes, though.
That is Waffles. Thank you for being here, man. Thank you, as always, for putting in all the effort and getting this all set up. Making the stream room is slowly coming along.
Slowly but surely.
It's getting there. It's getting there. My Maximum Coolio, hoping that Danielle plays Darius. That's on one that she might. That's one she might. So we are excited for today's podcast. Again, we have the two of the legends of Mortal Kombat that'll be joining us in a bit. We're going to have Master Daniel Pesina and Ho Sung Pak, both in Mortal Kombat 2. Interesting how as things changed after MK2, both of those characters would be picked up by other actors and stuff. But MK1 and 2, quite the lineup. And so awesome to have Daniel Pesina and Ho Sung Pak here soon. They're out and about right now, but they will be here in a bit. Not sure exactly when, but they're coming. They're coming. So I figure it's the start of the new year. Last year we did last podcast is our first podcast of the new year. We had the year-end wrap-up. Thank you all to everybody that joined us for that. And we've already had our first Monday mystery of the new year. And we put up Samurai Aces, which was a great Psycho game from 1993. So happy to see everybody totally digging that game. It was one that it's a great game. We weren't sure that with obviously a lot of our well-known shmup players aren't at the arcade. So it was awesome to see so many people kind of step up, and Greg Brandon was all over it, and Charles was playing it a ton, and just awesome to see. So hope everybody has been enjoying the continued Monday mystery games. Maximum Coolio there is saying Samurai S was such an awesome game. Saling joining us with saying happy Wednesday instead of sending 101 bits our way. Thank you so much for that. Hater Shack saying, believe it or not, Samurai Aces has like 22 different endings. It is. There are there's 8 different pilots that you can pick.
Yes.
Which one of them being very much a rip-off X-Wing, which I'm just so
The bottom right one.
Yeah, amazed that they got away with that. But 93, it's a different time. Psycho was doing so many great shmups, and it's so cool that players are going out and after like Greg Brandon getting into other shmups by Psycho, and there is such a familiar feel going from one Psycho game to another, regardless of if it's a horizontal game or a vertical game. Games like Tengai and Dragon Blaze, they really have a unique feel to them, and probably of shmups, they're probably my favorite company. They've got like Dragon Blaze is just absolutely amazing, Tengai, Soul Divide, the Strikers series, just an awesome lineup of games. So definitely make sure you check that out next time you're at the arcade, and check out all their games, because visually always just an unbelievable presentation visually, and great music, and just the bullet patterns to the games are just really cool. I wonder, try saying I love all the 1945 series. Yeah, the 1945 series is really solid. Shout outs to Jim X, what is up? And Larson saying there's so many from that company that are good. They went with a very tried and true method. The creator of Samurai Aces was one of the lead designers and developers on Arrow Fighters, which we had made comment on that on the Monday Mystery Stream and done a little bit more research and found that out to be true. Colonial Soldier, what is up, man? Great lineup of games over at the Colonial Soldier. Do you got any Psycheo games out there by you? Maximum Coolio saying Dragon Blaze is a wonderful time. Probably one of my favorite shmups of all time. Sean Elias joining us. What is up, man? Sending 101 bits our way.
What's up, guys? This is Waffles just doing a mic test real quick. I don't have I can't hear myself on this one, so let me know how it's sounding. Using a different mic over here in my little corner.
Everybody picking up Waffles and what he's saying. Sean, again, happy birthday. It should be a fun stream. Look, getting an echo on you. And thanks for wearing your Spectre Files shirt, man. That's awesome. We just had the sale just ended on Spectre Files on Steam. We had our big winter sale on Steam that we were a part of with 10% off, but that ended yesterday. So huge shout outs to everybody that had picked that up on there, and great to hear and see everybody enjoying it. Gabe, I've been doing well. I hope you have too. It's been awesome to be able to do podcasts every week now. We have an awesome show today. Master Daniel Pesina and Hosung Pak, 2 of the Legends of Mortal Kombat. They'll be coming up soon. But we're going to be doing a show on Friday. Not a Friday mystery game. We normally save our Friday streams for Friday mystery game down at Galloping Ghost Pinball. But that is not this week. We do not have a new pin. So don't anybody freak out on Friday when we are going live. But we are doing a stream it's one of the most requested streams. People keep asking, why don't you stream a warehouse raid? So that is exactly what we're doing this Friday. I believe it's going to be a little bit earlier. Waffles, do you know what time we're heading out?
I want to leave around like 8 or 9.
So we're taking off around 8 or 9. So we should be there about noon. Yeah. We're going to be heading out to Troy Smith's new location. He has switched warehouses. His old warehouse was huge, but there was not exactly a good order to the cabinets. There was a lot of jumping up and on top of machines and climbing around on stuff. Always amazing stuff over at Troy Smith's. So we are Arcade Revival. Yes, we are going on a warehouse raid, and it's going to be awesome. This will be my first time and Tom's first time seeing Troy's new warehouse space. He sent some pictures. Troy's got such an amazing amount of games, and we've got one cabinet that we're picking up. We've been commissioned to pick up a cabinet for somebody, so we're going out and picking that up, and anxious. If there's anything else we see, well, who knows? You never know what you'll find over at Troy's. So Mr. Meow Meow Pants saying stocking up on Monday mystery games. It's hard to leave with we're just going in the van, so it will definitely be the one cabinet, but we will probably end up with one more. Who knows? And then maybe we'll have to go back out with something bigger, but we'll see. Unfortunately, Jeremy Fox, who we normally make the trek with, isn't able to be there. Jeremy from Prince Arcades, who we 99% of the time, if we're going to Troy's, Jeremy's going with us. But this is a kind of a time-sensitive pickup. So Maximum Coolio saying get more Psycho games. So the vaults right now, but still have been going through the vaults, and there's more Psycho in the vaults for sure. There will be a lot more that over the next. See, the big problem with Monday Mystery Games, we have to space everything out. We don't want to just put a flood of Monday Mystery Games that are all shmups or like-on games. So it's one of those things that makes determining what the Monday Mystery Game is going to be. It makes it a unique from week to week. Like number 800 when we had Mad Dog McCree, it was like that was the game we wanted. But for putting out a live action light gun game with a Western theme, it was a little close to Lethal Enforcers 2. And now I know nobody said anything, but that's just the kind of things that we try to avoid. Tabmock saying Kung Fu Rockstar, saying I need to pick up a signed copy of Anthony Marquez's book. Does GGA have them in stock right now? We might have a signed one left. I know Zach was asking about that yesterday. I think he had a sale. So Tony did not leave too many of those signed Kung Fu Rockstar books at the Galloping Ghost Arcade. So if you want one through us, make sure you can call right now. We have the Zach is the operator standing by on hand. You can call the arcade and order it through him. He'll set you up and we can ship that out to you. It's amazing how talented so many of the legends of Mortal Kombat actually are. You've got again Daniel Pesina, who has had his wushu school for years and years. You've got Ho Sung, who's been in movies like Drunken Master and fighting Jackie Chan and stuff. You've got Tony Marquez, who not only runs a martial arts school, but also has his music career running and just put out a CD. And him and Dr. Philip Ahn, who played Shang Tsung, both with books out. So it's amazing the massive amount of talent spread throughout the actors that were in Mortal Kombat. Carrie Hoskins, who has her art gallery going and everything, and just awesome. Very, very excited and so great. Everybody got to meet so many of these actors and legends of Mortal Kombat through the combat cons that we've held over the years and the Shang Tsung's fight nights. And just cannot wait till the next one of those takes place. Tabmock picking up one of the Tony Marquez books. Very awesome. Sending up 500 bits. Trying to get a hype train rolling in excitement for our special guests today. Tabmock, that is the correct phone number. Try asking if I had a chance to read through Ready Player 2 yet. I have not. I heard from Ken Walker that Ninja had played a pretty good role in that book. Tom, have you read Ready Player 1 or Ready Player 2?
No. I've seen a movie.
How was the movie? I haven't even seen the movie.
I love the movie, but I don't think it paid too much homage to the book aside from like the very last part.
What was the most memorable video game character that you saw in that?
Goro.
Really?
Yeah, Goro's in it.
What'd he do?
He was just walking around. He was just walking, yeah.
So the same cameo that he had in Midway's Judge Dredd? Where?
In that movie?
No, he's in the game.
Oh, he's in Judge Dredd.
Judge Dredd, there's a appearance by Goro in stage 1. There's somebody walking a miniature Goro on a leash.
That's awesome.
I remember when Ed Boon was here, he literally walked past it and stopped and had to take a step back, and he turned. He's like, "How do you have a Judge Dredd?" As the game was only a prototype, and that's what we do. That's what we do. But he was very pleased to see that, and seemed excited to see the miniature Goro walking around. Larson, yeah, he's getting walked. It was a surprise to see that. Tom, what did you think of Samurai Aces, the Monday mystery game?
Hold on, I want to grab this mic.
Oh.
I don't know what's going on with that wall. It sucks.
Gabe, yeah, we do really pride ourselves on
Testing.
having a lot of prototypes, and that's been such an instrumental part in the growth of the arcade, has been the strong ties with so many industry people, guys like George Petro and Brian Colin, Jeff Lee and Jeff Nauman, and that has really enabled us to find out about all these crazy stuff that never made it out. And again, you get people who are so supportive from the industry. Again, George Petro, Brian Colin. Brian Colin, I remember when he donated International Team Laser, and what's the other one? RC Squared. 2 1-of-1 prototypes that ended up here. It was unbelievable to be able to get those running and fired up, and we unveiled both those at a T20. Were you here when that T20 took place? Oh man, that was a thing to remember.
Can you move their cam up a little?
Tilt that up. Let's see here. Hold on one second, everybody.
Move it that way a little bit. Perfect. Okay.
You were wondering about me. What's up, guys? I hope this is better. Using a professional mic. You were wondering about Samurai Aces?
Yeah.
I really, really liked it. When it comes to arcade games, I'm pretty naive, and like I just, I didn't grow up in the scene back in the day. So I'm proud of myself when I make comparisons, and they are direct, and they're correct comparisons. So it's like, Blast Off it's like Bosconian, right?
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. So it's like in this game, I'm like, okay, this feels like a Gunbird. Like the power ups feel the same. The tempo, the cadence, as Jeremiah likes to say, feels the same. It's not as bullet helly as a lot of like your cave games.
Yep.
And I like that. It's a little more manageable for me at least. And when it comes to shmups, as someone who doesn't grind games, like we have a lot of semi-pro shmup players that come into the arcade. A lot of our regulars like that genre. And as someone who doesn't grind the games, it's nice to just be able to jump into a game like that. And as far as I could tell, there wasn't really exterior like scoring methods other than just shoot guys and kill stuff. And it was funny when I was playing the game at first. I think this was for Gunbird 2. When the coins are turning and they glow, they're like 2,000 points. So I was trying to do stuff like that where I'm like, I have experience playing a game like this. I'm looking for little stuff like that. I couldn't find anything. Monday Mysteries are awesome because it's like when everyone wants to play the game and you want to get the highest score, you don't really have much time to like search for little functionalities like that are within the games. So as far as exploration, that's about all I did. The game is good. I like the game a lot. I'll be playing it a little more. I think as far as scores go, that is probably up there. I want to play Gunbird 2, and then I want to play Raiden 3. I really want to play Raiden 3 because I think that's a fun game. See, that was good.
Did it was one of the very early Psycho games, so you can kind of see how they progressed. Where this is a very bare bones, like the scoring element that they added, where timing, picking up the coins and stuff that happens in games like Dragon Blaze and Gunbird and Tengai. This was so early. None of that is even in yet. There's no chaining. There's no. It is just bare bones, straightforward. Which at the time for '93, what a tremendous starting point. Again, with you can see some of the ships feel very similar to Aero fighters, and even some of the visual effects have that. You can kind of tell that it's been taken from Aero fighters as it's just kind of this progression. Do you think did you take the top score? Do you know?
I have yet to see. So as far as the stream went, yes. I know
Okay.
Charles was playing it a little more. I think he was the only guy that was really playing it after we had ended the stream. And he had not made mention of it, so I'm pretty sure I took it. If not, second place at least. But yeah.
Larson saying how good Raiden 3 and 4 are. We added 3 to the floor. That is one. Was everything, did that get unveiled when it was just you, me, and Jeremiah, or was that before?
No, that was
That was way
January or
before.
February. Yeah, because Eddie has a score on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things where there's so many amazing shmups out there, and we definitely love shmups at Galloping Ghost and add them so regularly. I think Raiden 3 got kind of overlooked by so many players, and
People didn't really get a chance to play it. Like, it came out, and then we weren't open, and then like as people are coming back, they should definitely check it out though. Like, I think it's where the other Raidens are now, so it's properly placed. You guys can find it easily. Definitely check it out. That game's cool because, again, well, as far as I could tell, it kind of stuck to its Raiden roots because
Definitely.
this is a game that was released kind of after, like it seems like Cave like really carved their way through the scene and like maybe late 90s, early 2000s. Like they have like a bajillion Dodonpachi. I think that's those dates when they released, right? Late 90s, kind of.
Yeah, Cave, late 90s, early 2000s, Don Patchy, Dodon Patchy, all those, they really progressed. They took it more in almost like a Twitch movement where they, especially by the time they started doing like Mushihime Sama, and just some of the most crazy bullet hell shmups out there. It's so precision driven, and like I love that's great, but it definitely has a much higher starting point of entry to get into those games. Like we were showing people the some of the bosses in Mushihime Sama, and people literally wouldn't play the game. They're just like, no, not a chance. And the nice thing about Psycho is they and you could see it very easily in Samurai Aces, like the ranking level, where the better you're doing, the harder they're making it. But if you're getting blown up, they kind of lighten it up on you pretty quick. So ranking, which is so important and such a staple of traditional shmups, of great players will know, like, okay, I don't want to be doing, I want to kill off a life here, so this part isn't as hard, and I'll be able to defeat this boss and get all the points.
I'm nowhere near that level, but that sounds awesome.
Well, that's really the crazy thing with like that's more of a cave thing where Psycho, um, even at its hardest, like their bullet patterns seem much more manageable. Like you've got such a tight hitbox, even still, but it just seems less menacing only having fewer bullets come out instead of just filling the entire screen. Even though it's still only that one bullet that kills you, it's those other bullets that kind of make it seem so overwhelming. Gabe asking about Vapor Trail. Vapor Trail is another one that I don't think has got anywhere near as much attention as it should. Great game. It's playing great. It's in the Shmups room now. Maximum Coolio pointing out how hard cave games are. They are difficult to say the least. Jimbo Slice joining us. What is up, man? Hope you're doing well. Cannot wait to have you back out. Larson bringing up games like Battle Correga and Ikaruga. Did you ever get into Ikaruga?
No.
That was definitely like watching Matt Walters play Ikaruga.
That's the black and white shmup, right? Yeah, I think you told me some story of like some kid from Japan like playing both ships and just mastering the game. And I'm like, wow, that game's not for me. He can have that game.
It's Ikaruga's not too hard to like if you're looking for a top score. It's difficult because you can go through bullets that are the same color, but you get a bigger bonus if you're using the opposite color. And just the way the chaining works is it's deep. It's again opposite spectrum from where a game like Samurai Aces, they're just going for a different thing. So Outworld. Hey Doc, serious question. If one was to use your exact capture setup to record competitive world record attempts in the arcade, but lived outside of the U.S., would you accept the videos in your database on Orcade? Unfortunately, Orcade does not accept outside scores currently. We've had people ask about it. Right now, it just really isn't that feasible. Anytime you're accepting an outside world record where the player has access to the actual hardware, we just have to be concerned about the legitimacy of the score. It would be so easy to manipulate the video to make it seamlessly look like any sort of play was done. So, and we're trying to stay focused on promoting venues, not just the Galloping Ghost Arcade with Orcade. We want players to go out and go to the arcades that do support it. Prince Arcades and Underground Retrocade and Colonial Soldier, all the places. If you don't have an Orcade venue that uses an arcade that uses Orcade, but you have an arcade around you, definitely get us in touch with each other and we will do our best to see if we can't get it set up, because we want to get players from all over the world submitting scores, but it will be something that we kind of grow into. Shout outs to Brady Rain and Bad News to Cruz. What is up? And Lumbo, thank you for being here, man. We are still awaiting the arrival of Daniel Pesina and Ho Sung Pak, the legends of Mortal Kombat. They're supposed to be here fairly soon.
But when they get here, guys, it's going to explode.
You'll be
fire everywhere. Liu Kang fire everywhere.
Who would win that fight? Who do you prefer, Johnny
Liu Kang
Cage
or Johnny Cage?
Yeah. Who'd win that fight?
Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage is broke.
Well, according to MK lore.
Yeah. According to MK lore, I mean, obviously Liu Kang would just beat his ass. Like, that's free. That is so
I bet
free.
Daniel would say otherwise.
Oh, obviously, there's a huge bias. You can't be asking those guys. That's a 2-hour podcast in of itself.
Yeah, it would be interesting. You know, those guys, they grew up together, and we'll go into like they were friends long before Mortal Kombat, and Daniel and Hosung and Rich and Carlos and John Tobias and Tony and Philip, and everybody knew each other, and it was so awesome. I remember at the Combat Con where Hosung hadn't been out to one yet, and this was the first one he was coming to. And Hosung,
Which Combat Con was this?
This was the first. He came to both Combat Cons.
Oh,
yes.
there was only 2 Combat Cons?
Yes.
Okay. There was one in the. It was like the gymnasium, and then the other one was in like the ballroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then after that, we had one Shang Tsung's fight night.
I was working here for the one in the ballroom, but I was more like I was just at the arcade, so I wasn't. And then I came to the VIP after party, which was that was so fun.
That was insane. Hearing them tell the stories of them back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh my God. There's so many. Those guys are crazy.
I think that was absolutely so insane for like the huge MK heads out there to just be able to like party with their idols or whatever. Like that's that's so crazy.
It was so unbelievable to see. There's 500 people that came out to Combat Con, 500 plus people, and the after party, like the people that got the VIP treatment and came to the after party. Tony Marquez's band, Kung Lao and the Scorpions, putting on a crazy show.
Definitely.
And just hearing all the stories, like they hadn't seen each other in so long, and to kind of be there and just watch them reminisce, and it was, you can tell they were such good friends. It's just like everything kicked right back up, and so awesome. And I'm sure we'll be Lumbo pointing out, oh yeah, Daniel's story about the nightclub, which maybe we'll get him to tell that nightclub story. Tobias told it first, and it was him and Rich in a nightclub. Maybe we'll get him to tell that one in a bit.
In a bit.
When they're on their way, I would assume. So, Tab saying I went to both Combat Cons, absolutely thrilled to be there. 10 out of 10 would go again. Larson saying I miss the cons and swap meets and all that. It'll all be back. It'll all be back. Don't know exactly when, but it's coming. It's coming. We've had people asking about the swap meets, and those, you know, we've been doing the online auctions and everything, and those are a lot of fun. But something about the swap meets are just awesome. And for those that missed the last swap meet, was it the last swap meet? We had like Brian Colin was here, Jack Hager was here, Scott Pekulski was here, Jeff Lee was here, Brian Smolik was here. It was just like a developer's day, but it was a swap meet, and they all had crazy artwork and just stuff you'd never be able to get anywhere else. And they're just signing stuff left and right. It's you know, we have been starting to compile a list, you know, as we had our 10-year anniversary not too long ago. We've been compiling a list of like just the best events. It would be great to see what the fans thought were some of the best events over the past 10 years. and what everybody wants to see. Like 11 years, we're going into our 2021. We're starting off strong. More podcasts, of course. Monday Mystery, it will continue 5 years in. We've got our expansion coming out, and more to come. But what else? What else do people want to see? Stream chat. Tell us, what do you want to see? We're starting to do live raids and stuff. We're going to be doing those right here on Twitch. Try saying a friend runs cons and is talking to other con organizers that are hoping for late summer, early fall. I've been seeing in Japan where I'm hearing things. I've been seeing in Japan where they're talking about doing some cons I believe there's one slated for February in Japan. So we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully we get to do more stuff. Like MGC is kind of always been a fun one, and Pinball Expo, and definitely looking forward to more developers days and combat cons and swap meets and pinball tournaments, T20s, all of it, man, all of it. Maximum Coolio saying we should stream shmups and tell us how to play better, like do a strategy stream. Now, would you host a strategy stream, or should we have Jeremiah? Or
Me hosting a Shmup strategy stream? That'd be hilarious.
people would love to watch you host a shmups strategy stream. So we are. I'm not sure if Daniel Pesina and Ho Sung are here just yet. Tom Waffles is going to check that out. Captain Spaceballs, what is up? Thank you for joining us. I see, of course, man. Try saying I'd like to see California Extreme come back. I had not made it out to California Extreme, but hoping probably the next one I'll be there. Yes, Daniel Pesina, Hosung Pack, not here just yet. They're coming. They're running a little bit late, but they will be here. They will be here. Lefty saying, thanks for the podcast. You're both so busy. It means a lot to us. Oh, happy to do it. This is just such a awesome part of the week. So happy that we've been able to schedule it and keep it going. When me and Pete Hahn were doing podcasts all the time, it was so, and it still is tough to maintain the schedule, but we want to stay more connected with the players and make sure that, like, asking you guys questions of what you want to see. So we're happy. We want to make these next upcoming years with the Galloping Ghost Arcade even bigger and better. Larson saying, tell us about your favorite Godzilla. We try to stay on point here. We try to stay on arcade gaming. I've been talking about doing a Godzilla stream. Try saying, what's your favorite console Godzilla game? I played the last few on PlayStation. The original Nintendo one was pretty cool. I put a fair amount of time on that. For me, I dig the arcade one. It's clunky. That the Band Presto Godzilla game that came out in 1993. I should do a live stream on that. Maybe I'll do that soon. I still have to do my Kung Fu Master stream, but we'll get to that. Maximum Coolio saying, stream how to play Gigawing 2. That was your first Monday Mystery game. You know, that would be amazing. We have so many great Gigawing 2 players. Matt Walters, Fred DeHart, Jamie Tibbetts. Be awesome to see one of them stream when they come back. Lumbo saying, have Jeremiah and Tom play MK so Jeremiah can give Tom hints on in his own usual way. You know, that was one of the amazing things of getting to be a part of Team GGA and just watching those guys train and practice Mortal Kombat 9. Just absolutely unbelievable. watching them progress as players. Well, most of them came in just as casual fighting game players. They just took it so seriously and built up what became like such a world-renowned team. And it was even after Evo, like Perfect Legend flew out here to train with the Team GGA guys. So that really says something. Worminator talking about the NECA Godzilla figures. You know, I've been again so generously we've had a few people donating various Godzilla figures to me, which is awesome. I see saying there's an MK9. Tom, what do you what year? Oh yeah, they're on Mortal Kombat 11 now. Tabmock asking about Dark Presence. I was playing a few sets against McCuddy in Dark Presence. I can't. I'm having so much fun playing it. It's I don't want people to think I'm biased here. But Tom, you were having some good matches with McCuddy.
Yeah, McCuddy was playing some Vampirial, and
He's broke.
Yeah, he's pretty strong. I just he's literally broken. Like there's something wrong with him, but that's just how it goes when you're, developing the game and stuff. But yeah, it was really fun today.
Now I was doing all right.
Yeah.
And I worry if Vale is broken. Is Vale too good?
Vale's pretty strong.
He is strong.
Yep.
And do you I don't feel I should ever be beating McCuddy. McCuddy is
he's a relatively new character. I don't know. I wouldn't sell yourself too short. I think.
Well, that's my only character that I've put that much time on. And,
yeah, exactly.
And
you got your gimmicks, you got your things, and he's got.
It's a bit of an unorthodox play, but a lot of throws. But it's interesting. It's so unbelievable watching you and McCuddy play and you and Jeremiah play. I'm excited to see that go on the arcade floor. So Jeremiah's been hard at work in adjusting more stage lighting and the always present balance concerns of, is this guy too strong? We're not going to really see and feel all that out until outside players get a hold of it and we see people thinking outside of the box.
Yeah, the second that game drops on the arcade floor on a Saturday, and let's say we have like a tournament with 15 people, it'll get more play that day than probably we put in a month. So, it's just gonna be nonstop. It'll be awesome. Someone mentioned that there's an MK9. MK9 is gonna be 10 years old in April.
What's that?
MK9 is gonna be 10 years old in April.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, that's doesn't make me feel too great, but it was it was good, dude. Ed Boon tweeted in August of last year, 2020, which is also weird to say, but that he is interested in running an NRS Cup with Mortal Kombat 9 included, and Injustice, like pretty much the whole lot. And he said if he's unable to run a tournament in 2021, then maybe roll back for MK9. It would have to be a remaster. They wouldn't just re-release the game. They'd have to probably redo the whole game with maybe some balance changes. I don't know. I could talk all day about that game.
Some Shiva buffs.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, throw a bone or two, I'm fine with that.
It would be, and I've got a little bit of a big MK surprise coming up that we're gonna have to be reaching out to. I think we're gonna have to talk with Ed Boon himself on something, coming up with some. I'm excited for it.
The main man
himself. We're going to have to reach out. Try saying Lord BBH was talking about Dark Presence on a recent stream.
What?
That is awesome. I did not hear about that. Let me know when. We'll look up that stream. I'd like to hear what he said.
The word, any word out there is great. All eyes on the game when it comes out, and hopefully people get their hands on it and are able to play it.
It's been so insane, the development of Dark Presence, and it's taken forever. It rebooted, and we've seen people be like, oh, why is it taking so long? Why is it taking so long? And it's like, it is hard to, one, not only do a game of this scale. There's a lot to the game that hasn't ever been attempted before in a fighting game. We've got such a small, the staff is very streamlined and small. You got people doing multiple duties. The game is so large, but then there's also this largest arcade in the world that kind of occupies all of our time as well. So
yeah, this little thing, couple blocks down the street.
Yeah, so it's coming. We don't want to rush. You look at games that rush to get put out. Not that we're rushing by any means, but being such, we know the fighting game community they're a critical group. They know what they like. They know a fun game, and no matter, we're an indie company, but we're still going to get compared to the Street Fighters and the Mortal Kombats and all of that. So if it's not top drawer, it's going to be just forgotten about. But it's been so awesome to have so many of the top players like Slips and I forgot, he was in from Greece. Nivik. How awesome was that to have Nivik out? And Unruly was playing it, and Fat Chris sending coffee our way. Thank you so much, man. Super generous of you. See you, Lumbo. Hey, Lumbo played Titan in Dark Presence. We are still waiting for our guests, Master Daniel Pesina and Hosung Pak, but they will be here soon. Sean Elias asking, is Dark Presence going to have an option for haptic feedback, like when you get punched in the game, you feel a punch sensation? Well, we've tested an earlier version of Dark Presence with our Shock Band, which was it's not a vibration. It's not like the haptic rumble. It's an actual shock. And we tested this. We haven't set it up with our newest engine yet, but there's a bracelet that you put on. And we were playing in the studio, and it completely changed how you approached playing the game. Because there were actual consequences. You weren't just like throwing out moves and getting... Sure. Thank you, man. You were... Fat Chris, thank you, man. Super generous of you. The Shock Band changed how you played the game because there was physical consequences, and we cranked that thing up to where it would buckle your hand. It would be like you would get. It was all that was run off of. We had a series of 9-volt batteries, and while our programmer, our Tom Stone, set it all up, saying make it Rumble Pack compatible. Yeah, this was like an actual shock, and it was, you weren't jumping around. Like, I like to jump in my fighting games. You weren't jumping around anymore. It was like, it almost made you take that, like, it almost took the violence out of it. It made you like, oh, shouldn't we talk instead of fighting? Hey, calm down. Let's not fight here. Maybe we should talk about this because you did not want to get that shock. I see saying that sounds not safe for work. Yes, it. Our attorneys were very much don't do that, but you know, it's not something that we would recommend to have in like a Dave and Buster's.
It's for the hardcores.
It's for the hardcores. It's for the hardcores. We'll have it available on ours. I don't know. We won't be leaving the shock bands attached all the time, but if Lumbo wants to challenge you, Tom, like, would you accept a shock band challenge?
Yeah, I mean, I would come out of there unscathed, so it's all good.
Against Lumbo?
Against Lumbo.
Wow. Even if he's gone and practiced and trained?
I'm confident. My veil is sick.
Wow.
My adaptability today against McCuddy, I was feeling myself. What's up?
Who do you feel, who is your go-to character right now?
Veil.
Like,
that's free.
Veil.
I don't think he's the best, but I think Veil is my go-to. He's the one I have the most fun with. I don't know. When I'm playing against McCuddy, I just lose track of time sometimes, and I'm just all like, oh, it's 3:30. I got to finish setting up for the podcast or something like that, where it's like, it's great. I think Kincaid's the best.
Kincaid's the best?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really play the game that much anymore, but that was my take from a few months ago. Interesting thing about not playing games and then kind of returning later, coming in with almost a brand new outlook on the game. And I think that can be applied to a lot of things, but that's what really happened today. This is very anecdotal and recent, but that was cool. I felt good playing.
Do you feel that, obviously, again, I am not the master on Dark Presence combos like you and Jeremiah and McCuddy and Shady and, well, maybe not Shady, but
yeah.
Just kidding, Shady. Do you think going from like switching who you're playing against is more difficult because you kind of like get into the rhythm of playing against somebody and then changing over to somebody else? Like you're looking for different things. Like I wasn't throwing overheads out like you were throwing out overheads.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's got their flowchart that they kind of run through whenever they start playing a new character, and in this case, I'm sorry, a new player, and that's why I think there's a difference between like tournament players and like people who can play in long sets and stuff. Like sometimes results do vary. People are better at adapting over long sets than short sets. Maybe someone's got a couple good gimmicks that could fool someone for the first 2 or 3 games.
So have you and Jeremiah, I know, what are the current estimates of when it's going on the arcade floor? I know everybody's anxious to get tournaments going.
We want to throw it out on March, and so that was the original plan last year in 2020, was a late March, early April release to the arcade floor with patches here and there. That's kind of when the game was firing on all cylinders, and we were pretty close. Obviously, setbacks. So when it does go on the arcade floor, the game will be pretty much 100% playable. Like maybe 90% playable. Like in terms of like like the combo system is fully fleshed out, and like the gameplay mechanics are there. Any changes outside of that are like any changes, outside of that to the game would pretty much primarily be aesthetic.
Yeah, just there's gonna be more music and
that's it.
Additional backgrounds and finishing moves and stuff.
Yeah, so if you're like super anxious for this game to come out, and let's say you're a tryhard like me and you want to like dominate the first tournament when it's like, oh, the official Dark Presence release tournament, like any experience that you gain playing this game when it's out in March, it's directly applicable towards like when the game officially comes out. Like the fluidity of the game, how the game plays, that is set in stone. That is going to stay. So
there's not going to be like this huge game changer like we've seen in other
No.
fighting games, and
Yeah.
like Sky Cursor would be an arcade game that was going in one direction and then shifted gears.
Yeah.
So look for it in March.
Yeah, definitely. Every character will be playable, and single player mode there will be a ladder. In terms of like tuning difficulty, that is definitely up for grabs. But yeah, should be good. And I hear voices. Maybe. Sorry about the wait, guys. The wait will be worth it though.
Yes.
And I hope you guys, get your slippers on, your shorts, turn up the heat to 75, get comfortable.
75.
Is that high?
That's a bit warm.
That's a bit warm. All right,
That's a
maybe
bit warm.
70. Well, you got your shorts on, maybe a short sleeve, getting comfortable. Get that warm up that cup of coffee or pour yourself a cold one. That's going to be a good podcast.
Tab saying I should fly out there when the game debuts. That would be awesome. We will not. Everybody keeps guessing that it's going to be a Monday mystery game.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
I think I don't like to say, I don't like to give hints on Monday mystery games ever. But what'll probably happen is it'll go out on test, and then when it's 100% done, it'll probably go away for 2 weeks, or a week, or 3 weeks, or a month, or unknown amount of time, and come back maybe as a Monday mystery. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? We definitely appreciate everybody staying tuned.
Worminator got the tux on. He is definitely a man dressed for the occasion, for the Ho Sung Pak and Daniel Pesina podcasts.
It's gonna be good. It's been a bit, and again, this is pretty impromptu. We got a text from Daniel yesterday saying that they were stopping by, and then they were like, "No, you know what? Why don't we just stop by tomorrow? Be on the big old podcast."
Yeah, 2 birds right there.
So very excited for all the upcoming streaming stuff. We definitely have a lot more gameplay streaming stuff. Obviously, we're going to keep going with Monday Mystery. Dark Presence tournaments coming up. I'm pretty excited to go stream from Troy's warehouse on Friday. Had you been out to Troy's warehouse? Not any of them?
Yeah, this will be my first warehouse raid ever.
Oh, really? That's crazy. That is crazy.
I mean, like, yeah, as far as like picking up games, I go in like people's houses and in their basements and maybe bringing a game from a con or whatever. But yeah, I've never been to like a collector's, their warehouse, I guess, for lack of better terms. I don't know. I've heard stories. I've seen video.
Should we go for a bigger truck? Do we go to buy? I know we're not in spending mode right now.
Well,
to say the least, we're not.
Is there an off
spending
button
mode,
on that mode? I don't know.
Well,
it would be a just in case. We would have enough room for one, maybe just one game, one very special game. Yeah, because it's Troy. It'll be there the next time you go there probably. And if you really want it, just give him a text and be like, "Hey, I want this. Put it on the side for me."
Right.
You guys are tight. It's okay.
You know how it is, though.
With you, I guess. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta have it now.
You gotta have it. Otherwise,
if it's a juicy Monday mystery, yeah, I'd say go ahead and pick it up, but just one.
It would probably just be like a random empty cabinet.
Oh, okay, all right. A husk you're gonna use.
Yeah.
Easy clap.
Right. So it should be pretty exciting to go and show off this again. The first time at Troy's new warehouse.
Yeah. Well, you guys, you guys haven't seen Troy's old warehouse, but
We
right?
posted pictures.
Oh yeah, okay, all right.
And
We'll be doing a sus stream, not a sus, but we'll pretty much just be streaming from Doc's phone or whatever, and it's going to be a very rough around the edges, more than our normal streams are going to be. But I think this is stuff that people have needed to see for a while, because it's like, this is the behind the scenes. This is the day in the life of Doc and other people getting the arcade to where it's at. Like, this is how you get games if you're an arcade and you're growing and you go out on these crazy runs. You drive 4 hours, 8 hours, whatever, to a warehouse in the middle of nowhere, and you get these games, and it'll be cool. So,
it was, and I just got a text from, oh, awesome. Just got a text from Pesina. He will be here in a few minutes.
Excellent. So thanks for tuning in, or staying tuned, everyone. Guys, we're going to have an awesome show. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
We just got some picks.
Some Hosung Pack. Legends of Mortal Kombat.
That's crazy. I've never met Hosung, so I'll just be quietly over. No, yeah, I just,
Such an awesome guy.
Yeah. Daniel, I obviously know. Went to frickin' New Jersey with Daniel. That was,
That was out for the New Jersey Gamer Con.
Yeah. Hosted by Jared Kilona, owner of Colonial Arcade.
How crazy was that? We had,
that was really fun.
It was me, you, Brandon, and Jeremiah.
Yep.
Did Will go?
I don't think so.
No. And then Jeff Lee.
Sam was there.
Oh, Sam was there.
Yeah.
Jeff Lee. Brian Colin.
Jeff Lee was there?
Yeah.
I remember Brian Colin. Parrish was there.
John Parrish. Daniel Pesina. And Philip on?
I don't remember Philip on.
No.
Yeah.
No, I think it was just the four.
Yeah.
That was
cool. That was my first. Actually, no. Actually, I think I went to a Midwest Gaming Classic first for Dark Presence, and then maybe later that July it was the New Jersey Gamer Con.
Was that the one where? Right. What MGC was that? We
were in the second floor or whatever.
Was that the I needed to go get a guitar?
Yeah. Yeah. That was tight.
That was awesome. Very end of the show, it was like, oh, I just had an urge. I needed a new guitar, like right then.
Yep.
Now, who all went?
I didn't go.
You didn't go with?
I think maybe Jeremiah just drove you.
I know Sam was there.
Or maybe Sam drove you. I don't know. Did they have a hand in picking out the guitar?
No.
Did you ask them and be like, hey, which one, just for a little reassurance?
I think it was no. Those guys don't know guitars.
Sam just knows drums.
He's a very good drummer, but he does not like to think he is.
He's not classically trained, right? He's kind of just naturally whatever. Like,
yeah.
He can just play the drums or whatever. He's got a beat.
Yeah. It's that was definitely a fun MGC.
That was cool, yeah. My very first one.
They had that was unfortunately last MGC didn't happen, so we're anxious to see what happens with the next one. Shane, what is up? Hello. Brisket joining us. Hope you are all, and Todd, what is up? Hope everybody is doing well. We are a few minutes out from being joined by Master Daniel Pesina and Hosung Pack, two of the legends of Mortal Kombat.
Yes. They are coming, guys. We promise.
They'll be here. We've not let anybody down ever.
Nope. Just a little late sometimes.
Oh yeah. We're not known for our...
Jeremiah said we invented the keeping the people waiting.
Oh,
we're keeping them waiting. The suspense, guys.
Not always intentionally.
Sure.
Sometimes intentionally, but
we make it intentional.
Sometimes.
Like I said, it's gonna explode. Liu Kang fireballs everywhere. I don't know. There's not enough room in here for him to do a backflip, guys. So try to spare yourselves from requesting the theatrics, but
Pesina shadow kicking through the wall or
yeah,
something.
maybe you can shadow kick some of this junk out of here. I don't know.
That would be all right.
Yeah.
I see that the second full-size upright base that we have in here that could probably go, but I think that's reserved for Master Tech Ken Walker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think
Oh,
he's
that's
taking
awesome.
that.
That's really nice.
So
That is just at an awkward angle. It is in just as good condition as I found it. I just had to kind of make.
that one arrived
two.
in not good condition.
Oh really? Okay.
That's why
all right.
it's a second one because they
Gotcha.
had to send a replacement.
Oh damn.
Krell's saying we should just get Pesina and knock down the wall over at the expansion. Not a bad idea.
If anyone is familiar with Team Spooky, whenever he ends his stream, he always plays that one clip of it's some random like. It looks like a very what's the word? Your run of the mill like Chinese fighting film, and a guy like punches a wall. He's like, it seems like he's in like a jail yard. It's like a giant cement wall, and then he says, "You're all free
Story
now."
Of Ricky.
That's
the story of Ricky.
That's so funny. So he'll do one of those.
Yeah.
Just like the entire freaking cement wall, barbed wire on top. It's just like it's like 50 feet high. It's awesome. That's how he ends all of his streams.
You should watch that movie. It's
$25 for a nut shot. $25. $25 for Pesina to do a split. Let's do that. Let's get there first, okay? And then I'll take the nut shot. No, not really.
That would I don't know, for $25.
Yeah, that's why we'll start off with the split first. $25 for a split, nut shot. We're gonna have to go a little higher.
Captain Spaceball saying, Doc, I found Galloping Ghost looking for Sega Hot Rod, which I played long ago in my youth. It seems like a fairly rare game. Why is that? What's the deal with the Sega System 24? So the Sega System 24 games were basically a series of games: Crackdown, Scramble Spirits, Gain Ground. The two driving games. One was Hot Rod, which we have on the arcade floor. There was one more that I'm forgetting the name of off the top of my head. But they basically all use the System 24 board. But in addition to that, Bonanza Brothers is another one. They had a 5.5-inch diskette drive that you had to have with the diskette. And it kept the score tables on the diskette drive. So when a new score went in, it would write to the drive. Such a Captain Spaceballs, rough racer. Thank you. Such a difficult system to keep up and running because there's various iterations of the actual board set, and it's a 3.5-inch floppy diskette. Those are very old, and they just don't work properly. There's no like way to connect a USB version. I've heard there's a way to make them run on an alternate media, like a flash drive. I've not seen it happen. I think there's a floppy disk emulator that you can get though, but it's basically just to handle the encryption code to decrypt the game. Worminator sending 500 bits our way. Thank you so much for that, man. But yeah, they're a great piece of hardware. Visually, they're running on medium res monitors, so the games always look great for the System 24 stuff. But we've backed all of the diskettes up, and I think it was Pete Gores donated a very old computer to us just to copy those diskettes. And we were so concerned once they started failing, because how are you going to get another one of those diskettes? And it's like all of those games are so obscure and so rare. And even with the data backed up on MAME. They're not encrypted the same way, so it's a difficult thing, and so nice to have actual backups of the diskettes. Sean Elias sending 200 bits our way. Thank you so much for that. Very much appreciated. So it's there's so much great hardware out there. That Sega stuff, whenever it goes down, and it happens, like we have to go out and try to scour the internet and see who has one and who can help us out with things. So it is it's always so unsettling when one of those games goes down. Tabs, gotta make backups. Absolutely. We've been fortunate enough to be able to help out other arcade collectors who have lost their diskettes, and we've been able to send them out and get their games back up and running, which has been good. It's been good. Oh, for those, I know I had mentioned on mystery shipment arriving yesterday. Uh-oh. We'll have to come back to that. I'm hearing the rumblings of Daniel Pesina and Ho-Sung Pak arriving. What is up, man?
What's up?
Hey. How have you been?
Good. I won't shake hands. I'll just say hi, just in case.
I'll give you a hug. There, get over here.
Just in case I have something I don't want to spend. Which I don't think I do. What
How
are you guys
you
up? What are you guys up? Good.
We're
What are you
on
guys up to?
doing a podcast right now.
Awesome.
So,
Come on over here.
awesome to have
Are you guys
it.
in the middle of the podcast?
We've
We
been.
can crash it.
Yeah,
Are you
absolutely.
sure?
That'd be awesome. Amazing to have you guys out.
Hey, we took forever. Here's some cryptocurrency. There's something in cryptocurrency. There you go.
I just started. Well,
That's worth $1 million.
But recently I got into cryptocurrency, which has been all the rage, obviously.
Absolutely.
We'll see if anything comes out.
This is Galloping Ghost currency, right?
Those are our ghost coins. So
This is actually worth, like, you can go in there and buy merchandise with it.
It's real money.
they within the arcade scene, we've had other arcades use it, so we just give them the actual cash value for them. So some like Prince arcades, if somebody's buying a cabinet, they're worth like
Look.
$50,
There's also
and
coffee behind you guys if you want some. Coffee? You want a coffee?
Oh, thanks.
coffee and waters, and
So this is actually is worth something. I love
Yeah.
that.
it was one of those. We made them originally. We had heard somebody make a comment that because we didn't have like a token or a coin, that they're like, oh, they're not even really an arcade, and it's like, so we just kind of,
That makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah, because it's arcade. You got to put a coin in.
sure.
Mortal Kombat's all about the quarters.
That's right.
That's why we put in test and might. That's my big. When I realized what we were doing, like with the video game, the way it was developed, the big hit was when I was like, why do we need test or might? And then John was like, it's all about the quarters. This is the part where if you made it this far, you're going to go with 1 quarter, you're going to go all the way to the end, but we got to pay for this machine. So this tester might is designed for you to lose that quarter and put another one in. Because it has nothing to do really with fighting. It has to do with the,
Just
yeah.
mashing the buttons.
And that kind of broke my heart, but I just realized how cutthroat
It's all about the business, right?
it is.
Yeah,
It is. And,
unfortunately.
and they deserve it. They got to pay people.
Oh,
You know,
for sure.
yeah, you know what I mean? They've got to pay people. They have a building.
That's right.
It's not like right now where everybody's working from home and it's cheap. But yeah,
They had so many, and Midway did it so well where they hid it.
Justin, the guy with the iron fist.
They hid how they got people to put more quarters in. They hid it so well within the game where you never walked away feeling like you got cheated.
You were happy, right, to put it in.
Yeah.
Do you happen to know how many quarters were put in MK1 and MK2?
Oh, it almost bankrupted me at the time.
Dude, you'll never
couldn't
find
even
out
guess.
because they're going to hide that number because they got to keep some of those quarters.
Absolutely. Even the venues would
Would never probably do the proper accounting for it.
yeah, they would always try to keep some of it for themselves.
But if you had to guess, what would be your guess?
Like a coin bucket, and in that MK, they were overflowing the coin buckets. Like people
Wow.
were literally saying, "Oh, the machine's not working anymore," and it's just because you couldn't put more quarters in it.
Isn't that brilliant?
That is.
To stop the machine when it can't take any more quarters. So you can't get any free play out of it.
You couldn't
just-
get anything.
Yeah,
out
you
of it.
gotta.
It would be choking the coin mech, and those coin buckets. I've got I think they can probably hold like $1,200
Wow,
in quarters.
dude!
Like-
someone's doing
And they're doing that all day long. They're exchanging that coin thing all day long.
Oh yeah, like at the peak, like it took forever to even get up to the machine,
Right.
and there would always be that one guy who was just murdering
Right.
everybody on it.
And he had his jacket over his hand so you couldn't steal any of his moves.
That's the way they did
That's
it.
actually smart, right?
Yeah, it is because
That's
that's how the game magazines were like finally like, oh, we can sell a bunch of editions if we put a couple of the secret moves in there on how to do them.
It was so crazy. You would go in, you would find like moves lists and stuff, and you would. For me, I would always kind of travel around. I always wanted to play the ladder and just fight against the computer and stuff.
Right.
And I wanted to see all the endings and get good with each of the characters.
Were you
So-
able to get to the ending with every character?
Oh yeah.
That's very impressive.
It was back when there was my arcade. During the day, it was just empty. So
Okay.
it was like I was the first one there, and I had it
And
pretty
practice.
much. Oh yeah, just hours and hours of practice. So it was. I remember the first time playing, I picked Kano was my first character. And,
Okay. And you mastered him and went to the next one.
I played him first. I jumped around a lot. It took a long time to actually be like I've mastered this character, but when you saw it out and about, like
So what's interesting was Danny told me when it came out. I didn't even know when it came out. Danny was telling me, he's like, "Oh, let's go check out the game." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, sure." And
Get out of here! Tell him a couple hours. We'll be here a couple hours. Come back in maybe 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours.
but yeah, Danny was telling me first about it and went to the arcade, and I remember it being packed. Only for Mortal Kombat, not for other games. And I thought, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So that was my first introduction to the game itself. Because when the game happened, it wasn't supposed to be a big game, right? It was supposed to be kind of a small game. So when it became this phenomenon, it was kind of just a little shocking, obviously. But in terms of waiting in line, I remember I was in New Mexico out of all places. Oh, Dan, I don't think you know the story. So I was in New Mexico visiting my brother, and they had this arcade right before you go into the movie theater. So I thought, okay, I'll play one game of Mortal Kombat. All of a sudden, I think there was a line of like 50 kids that wanted to play me. And of course, a lot of them could beat me because they were very good.
Yeah, we do martial arts.
We're okay, yeah. I was mediocre at the game.
Yeah, but
So
we're good at the real stuff.
Yeah, I would lose, and then I would have to stay on though to play the next person.
yeah.
So it wasn't the winner stays. It was, in this case, I had to stay. To the point where I'm like, guys, I think the movie is starting that I have to go to, so I got to go. And this was about 30, 40 minutes later. And there was still probably a line of, I think, like 50, 60 people waiting to play against me in the game as soon as they figured out who I was and who they're playing against. So that I don't think I ever told you that story.
No, that's pretty cool, right?
That was fun. So that was my first introduction to the actual game itself of
Thanks, Justin.
playing against other people. But
Thanks, Justin.
in terms of introduction to the game, it was Danny who we went to a couple different places, and it was just crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Remember when because I'm going to say the story really quick because this is the first time we ever met Doc. When they hired us to go to McCormick Place. Remember that? When we were at the McCormick Place and they had those long-ass lines?
Oh, no. You guys did it. I didn't do it.
Oh, you didn't do that?
The first event was with Doc a couple years later. But the first
Then we
event
went to England then, right?
No.
Remember when me, you, and Liz went to
Oh,
England?
yeah.
After that. But before that, that's when we first, Doc was at that event.
Oh, he was at the... Oh, God. You're talking way long time ago.
Yeah, at the beginning, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so I didn't
He was
remember
like
that.
8 years old.
It was there's a video
That's right.
that they aired on CNN that me and Daniel were in, and it was us playing. I think it had just come out on the Genesis, and
And it happened to make it to the.
it was on the CNN news, and like 2 years later, somebody gave me the videotape of it. I still have it somewhere.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That is
Did you have short hair or did you have long hair?
I had.
Were you wearing those gloves?
I didn't. Not these exact gloves. I had different gloves on.
I assume since your age, you probably had short hair back then.
It was shorter.
Yeah.
It was definitely shorter.
I don't know, I guess. But I remember, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Before we
that's
went
a
to
long
England
time.
for the promo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We were at McCormick.
That was a long time ago.
Right. That's when you guys first met.
Yeah.
Wow.
You met him too.
I know,
You took
I-
my
you're
picture
right,
of it, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah.
That's incredible.
How was it doing those shows?
It was. We had the best time. Maybe we'll do some more in the future. Also, if Danny wants to go do some. But promoting something and having some fans there, doing events, and being together. Really, there's nothing more you can ask because you're with people that also love the game or who are interested in the game. You have something in common right there. So it's really the best time. And doing some of the events that we've done, a couple together, we just have a good time meeting the people. It's
Always goofing off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's
a fun
always
time.
never really work. It's always,
Yeah.
especially, going to events and you're seeing people who love your work, it's not a bad time.
And when they know the moves as well as or better than you do, that's awesome. Right?
It's crazy, and it's all throughout the industry. Like, I know everybody expects and thinks that you guys are masters of the game and probably know every.
What's funny is I only know my character. The other characters, I actually don't know. I've maybe played other characters once or twice, but my character is the default character because at least I know how to play it.
Yeah.
So if I had to play some other character, like let's say Scorpio or Sub-Zero, I wouldn't know how. I'd be like,
I don't know how to play any of them.
Yeah. I'd be like, teach me the moves. So in terms of if I have to play against somebody, I'd have to pick my own character because that's the only character I know.
Was there any moves that you filmed that didn't make it into the game that you were like, oh, I wish that had.
You know what's interesting? You say that. So Danny and I, we were going through some of the moves at that time. And one of the moves that I could do really well was a butterfly twist, which at that time was not a popular move. Not many people knew how to do it very well.
And I'll interject. We met, who was Darth Maul? At the time, back then, we met the guy who did Darth Maul, and he could not do a butterfly twist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really rare to see people do that.
Yeah, this is way back when it was not a popular move. Obviously now anybody could do it, but back then butterfly twist was not a popular move. So with one of the finishing moves, they still have this on file, I'm sure. I did a butterfly twist into a kick, into an uppercut. For whatever reason, they decided to use the regular butterfly kick, not the butterfly twist. And I really wish they would have used the butterfly twist with something. That would have been good at that time because no one had seen that move.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. At that time. So
Ray Park, thank you. I love that guy.
So that's the one move that I wish Liu Kang would have hit. Yeah. Maybe they could do it for another game or something.
Did you film that for 1 or 2? Or both?
I did it for both, but I believe the first one is one I was hoping that the finishing move could be in the first one. If it was in the first one, at least in the second one, because second one you guys had different options, right?
Yeah.
So it's too bad it didn't make it in the second one, but it would be for John Tobias, like I said at this point. John, if we ever redo game 2, let's put the butterfly twist in there.
Yeah.
The remastered.
Yes.
Remastered, but the real people.
Yeah.
How awesome would that be?
Yeah, that'd be pretty good. That'd be legendary.
Yeah, it would be a Tobias call, but yeah, that would be fun. Yeah.
Have you stayed up on as the games kept coming out? Have you stayed up with them and watched them progress or anything? Or
not really?
No.
So, I did the first 2 games. My favorite's the second game.
No.
Right? Because the characters it feels more real. It feels like you're almost there or fighting with that character. So I'll play the second game all day, all night. I'll not play against whoever. I'll probably lose. But in terms of following it after that, not really. I felt like the characters weren't as interesting as in the second game. I thought the second game had the best characters, the best game like flow. And after they kind of I think got away from the characters and more just pushing Mortal Kombat with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. So favorite game part 2, and I felt like it had the best. Like everything came together in that game, right? The characters, the movements, the different things, specialties of each characters. So that's why it's my favorite game. And after that, quite honestly, did not really follow it that much.
Yeah.
But I'm happy it's doing well. I'm happy that people enjoy it now. And is there 10 games or 11 games?
11.
Okay.
11, yeah.
11. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
11 games?
I don't even know.
I'm glad there's 11 games, and I'm glad people still enjoy it.
Oh, and it's since day one, the fan base has just been tremendous, and there was such a huge connection that using live martial artists and actors to portray the characters, it made it so unique.
Right, and then but after the third game, I believe they went away from that, right?
They
Because it
did.
was
They
more motion capturing stuff. So I think at that point you kind of lose the intimacy with the characters, right? You identify with this character, identify with that character, whether it's Melina Katana, Johnny Cage, or whoever. And I think that's why I wasn't as into the game after that.
It's
Yeah.
it's awesome. Because the fans have that connection, and you can see right there in the stream chat, MK2 Liu Kang, best video game character of all time.
Is that right? Who said that?
Lefty.
Lefty. Okay, well, Lefty, I appreciate that.
It's having that connection, like the fan base behind MK. We've seen players travel in from literally all over the world, and they have that chance to play the newer games. But when it's you guys, like going to like a Combat Con or an event, when Daniel's out somewhere, or Rich and Philip, and the fans, you've kind of formed such a huge part of them growing up. And the fan base, they just have just the highest regard for you. Like, I'm sure you've met some just of the most amazing fans. Do you have any?
Yeah, the fans are great. I mean, and that's why I think Mortal Kombat can live on for a long time, because of, like, Street Fighter, not really, right? Because there's no person behind the character, right? So people like Street Fighter, I think, but they can't identify with the characters. But with Mortal Kombat, especially where Danny goes to a lot of the events all over the world, which is great. Maybe I'll start going with him on some of them. I think people can identify with it and the characters, and whether it's Johnny Cage's character, my character, whoever's, I think they can form a bond with the characters, right? And they play the character, and they're like, oh yeah, we met him, we know him. So I think there's a difference between when they do motion capturing and it's just a body, as opposed to some person behind the scene, right? So I think that's why Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 caught fire, because of that.
Absolutely.
And maybe the feed could tell us other reasons why they were interested in part 1 and part 2. But my opinion is that they could identify with the characters, and whether you identify with Johnny Cage, Liu Kang, Kano, whoever it happens to be, you happen to like that character for certain reasons, right? So that's my thoughts on it. Danny, what's your opinion on why MK1 and 2 caught fire?
I think it's too, like Tony Kung Lao has a really good analogy. He's like personality in the pictures, in the pixels. When you play Mortal Kombat, there's that. For me, I always use the example. I take a picture of somebody and it looks like a picture, but you have a professional photographer or somebody who's a professional behind the video camera, and when they film it, it just turns out so much different. You know what I mean? When you have a professional in front of the camera, they have an aura. You know what I mean? So when you got a real professional person doing this action who knows how to do it, I think it resonates like that. That resonates with you, and you get that feeling. So though I like to play 2 more than 1, I always honor 1, because it was, without 1 you can't have any.
Right, it was groundbreaking.
Yeah, it was groundbreaking. 2 and 2, 1 was like that whole. 1 was really the super collaboration between everyone. Whether it's Sonya, Liz developed Sonya. So without Liz, there can be no other Sonya. Same thing with Kano, Rich, or Liu Kang. Everybody talks about, oh, I like this or like that Liu Kang, but that's because you have Hosung to compare it to. And it's always, and two, the moves he created, the other guy is doing. Like the guy in the movie is doing my moves, and the guy in so it's not really, and I love the movies. I love anybody who acts like me. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
Somebody in the stream chat just asked what you thought of the character depictions within the movie.
I didn't really mind it because they're trying to act like me, and the only thing is I'm jealous of Carlos because he got Christopher Lambert acts like Carlos, which is you can't top that. You know what I mean? He's a Highlander. You cannot top that acting, and I'm happy these guys are acting like me, so it's not that bad. I wish the action would have been more darker for the first movie. I thought it would be darker. I prefer it to be darker, but that didn't happen. But they have a right to. They bought the rights to do the movie. They're going to do what they want with the movie. My only suggestion is to get a fan to be like the one of the producers to make sure that it's true to what they're trying to develop. The Marvel movies do really well because when they show Thor, he's actually acting like Thor and not some different version of Thor.
For me, I saw the movie in the theater. It wasn't you guys, so it wasn't like it was like why aren't the guys from the game in this movie? Yeah. And it just didn't work for me. And it's like you guys gave the characters such personality that it was like I wasn't buying it. And I know people love the movie, and I'm probably in the minority for
the movie itself
not being all about the movie. But it was always my thought it should have been you guys.
The movie did a very good job with the soundtrack. I gotta say also, costume soundtrack.
Man, the soundtrack. I don't even get tired of that.
Right.
Even when I'm at an event and I have a Mortal Kombat 1 or 2 and I hear that music, I never get tired of it. It's just, and I'm listening to it, and it always, because I think we had so much fun doing it.
Oh yeah,
it was so much fun just trying to goofing around and creating characters,
creating moves. Yeah,
and two, it wasn't like it was so Tobias was so free with it. He'd be like, take a look at this, and then we'd look at it, and then if you wanted to change it, we would change it right there. Or if we wanted to add something, we would just be able to add it. We didn't have to. We were just trying to make the best game. There was nobody who was like, no, you can't do that, or I don't know any martial arts, but I'm going to tell you to do this. No, that didn't happen. They just John just let us do what we do, creating the character. And as he's doing it, he'd be watching us and be like, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to do this with the story. And, the movement really inspired, the whole lore of it, because it was usually happening. The major part was usually happening while we were filming and then goofing off and doing, oh, we're going to do this. Oh, we're going to do that. You know what I mean? Oh, when we were first discussing Mortal Kombat with John, I remember that I was like, man, I want to be the hero who saves the day. And then John is like, no, I'm going to make that Hosung. Hosung is going to be the one who's going to win the whole tournament.
Sorry.
And then he was just like, maybe you get to beat up the main bad guy. And I was like, I'm number 2. I was going to be number 2. But number 2 is good. Number 2 is good. But that's how we were just goofing around, just being like, no, you can't be that. I'm going to tell you what to be. It's kind of like, you're going to do this. And then we kind of did that.
Collaborating with John was really great. He's an incredible artist. He's has a great vision. So I think also just Daniel creating the moves and the characters and everyone, putting in their 2 cents with it. Made it what it is today. So, John
was really, he was, because he just wanted to create a really kick-ass game,
And back then it was so, the timing of it was so perfect. It was, the industry was seeing big games, but that really pushed it up to a whole new level. And there were obviously now games, the budgets are just astronomical, and that's why it's so hard to make something brand new, because you can look back and be like, well, the last Mortal Kombat sold 10 million copies. Pretty safe bet if we do another one, it's going to sell a lot. But MK, again, they never thought it was going to be what it was.
Yeah.
And
it's hard to create that kind of original content at this point. Yeah, it's not easy. And John and all the characters that did the first game, you're right, if you don't have the first game, you don't have anything. So all the characters that were involved in the first game really, I thought, did a wonderful job. Obviously, along with everyone else that was part of the game, John, Vogel, Ed, Boone, and everyone else that played an integral part of the game. But
Forden. Dan
Yeah,
Forden.
Dan Forden.
He's a cool guy, man.
yeah, so I think every person, whether they're behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, did a wonderful job. And you have to have all that come together to create something amazing. And it only happens once in a while, right? And with MK, it just happened. It's part luck, part skill, but every person played a role in it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we were always trying to one up each other, right?
That's right.
We were like coming up, and then we'd come in and film later. So even like today, when you watch what's left of the original footage, if you watch the whole thing, it's kind of like there's a move and then there's a different move, and it's really not organized because we would be taping something, and then Ho would do something, and then I'd be like, oh, I got to do something to counter that. So then John would be looking on the tape to find an empty spot or something he could erase and tape over to put in the next cool move.
Right.
And so I think in the end, all that stuff really ignited, ignited for Ed and the management to be like, oh, we have enough for number 2. You know what I mean? Because we just were popping out so many ideas,
We were limited by the amount of memory that the game could hold. If the game at that time could have held a lot more memory, right?
We'd have all 12 games in one.
Right.
Yeah, we would have done it would have been an amazing, a bunch of movements in every single game we had done at that point. But we were limited by the moves. So if you could only do the best 10 moves or the best 20 moves, you could only stick in whatever you can stick in. And that's why my guess is the butterfly twist didn't make it. In fact, John, maybe he could come tell us why the butterfly twist did not make it. But it's unfortunate. We're limited by the memory.
Yeah.
The advancements that they used for making the game, they were really pushing things, and there were other digitized fighting games like Pit Fighter, which didn't do it anywhere near as well. And it was, again, the perfect storm of everything lining up.
Right.
The martial artists and actors and the development team and the freedom that they had. But again, there were a lot of constraints. Technology, as it grew, it evolved. So like if it had come out later, who knows what it would have been. And you saw so many other companies try to emulate it. And
It's hard.
They knew more, like they knew the direction to go in, but nobody ever recaptured or even came remotely close to what you guys did. So
a lot of copies come along the way, and which is fine. I think that's totally it's a good thing, but it is hard to create the original and have it blow up. And that's why I say every person that played a role in it did a really good job. And magic happened when Daniel, John Tobias, and Ed Boone came together and created this game. And so we're all thankful and grateful for that.
But it wouldn't have been, again, I think it's just a friendship. You know what I mean? With Ho and John and I were already friends. You know what I mean?
That helped.
But yeah. Even though, John knew Ho and he was like, and too, John was like afraid to ask Ho. He was like, no, Ho's a turtle. He's not going to want to do this because we can't pay him. And then I was like, you know what, John, Ho will do this. I'll ask him for a favor. Do this. He's going to really love this game.
Danny, that's right. Danny asked me, and I'm like, "Are you sure you want to do this, Dan?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's going to be great." And he told me all about it. I'm not sure. I'll be happy to do it.
Yeah,
so,
we were like, we're not getting paid really, and he's like, okay, but it's going to be fun.
Fun, yeah.
Yeah, so we were like, okay, let's do it.
We're kids at that time, right? And we just came off doing the turtle film, and we had a wonderful time doing the turtle films. I think we just got off of part 2, right? So, and Dan's like, "Oh, let's do a video game, and this is what this is," and so on. And I'm like, okay, if you think it's going to be fun, let's go have a good time with it. So the money wasn't a part of the equation because we had done well with Turtles already. So we thought, oh, we'll just enjoy this game and see what comes of it. And John, like I said, collaborated with Daniel in this case with the characters, the movements, the energy of the characters. And I remember John had all this stuff drawn out, and we'd be like, okay, that's good, but can we try something else? And he was very good about collaborating, about us trying as many things as possible. putting it on film, and then he can figure out what he wanted at the end.
Do you still? Yeah. Do you still have the pants? Liu Kang's pants? You don't?
I don't have those pants. I'm so sad.
Man, you
I
can
know.
put them in your museum.
I would auction them off if I could, but
Right.
unfortunately I don't have it.
Yeah. Or the shoes, the atomic shoes. They just gave us shoes.
That's right.
You went up to the atomics guy and they're like, "Hey, we're doing this." They're like, "Oh, here's shoes." So after
Actually,
Ho talked
I do
to
have
him,
the shoes. Yeah.
yeah,
Do you really?
yeah. After Ho talked to him, all of a sudden they were giving us like tons. I had like
Stuff,
5
yeah.
pairs of shoes. They were just
They
like,
were very nice.
yeah, they were really. The atomics people were really nice. Here's some shoes. Your brother wants shoes. Everybody get shoes.
When Danny and I competed, there was like martial arts gear,
Vendors.
gears that they would just give us to help promote some of the other stuff, and it helped that Mortal Kombat was part of the equation, and as it blew up. But in terms of having old Mortal Kombat clothes, like, do you have your stuff? Does Kano have his stuff? Does everyone?
Some of the stuff.
Some of the
we
stuff
all
is
have
good,
some
okay.
of the stuff.
I know it's too bad we didn't put it up in the museum right after the first
But
game.
Philip still has the pants
Oh,
and
good
the
for him.
shoes and the beanie.
Good for him.
But you know, Philip, he keeps everything like really prim and proper,
yeah.
you know?
Carrie Hoskins had just posted getting back in costume for the first time since she filmed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Well, when you had Combat Con, Liz, that was the first time Liz
yeah.
wore the
She had hers as
original,
well.
the real Sonya Blade costume that, you know, that gave birth to all the other things. To still have that, that's like, holy cow, I thought I was the only geeky one. But apparently, you know, Rich had some of his. I think he recently gave it to a museum.
Oh.
Of course, I think they gave him like $8,000. But,
Good for him.
but,
It's his-
but
yeah,
yeah,
it's
but
his thing, yeah.
it's his to do. You know, it was his to do that. You know, when we're
did
doing
you
that
have
stuff.
any input on the costume itself?
I think that was mostly John's creation. I think if we made some changes, it was here and there. But in terms of the creation, that was more John. Right?
Yeah. Well, too, John was just told you, hey, you got a pair of black pants? And I was like, yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
The game one, you got a pair of black pants and you got the shoes. I'm like, sure. Let's,
Yeah. And then when he got there,
Game
he wore that jacket, but at the last minute, you were like, threw it off, and then you did it without the jacket on. But when you came out,
everything, yeah.
you had that Kung Fu jacket.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they, you know, in a way, they never really used that Kung Fu jacket, did they?
No,
Yeah,
no,
that's
they
right.
didn't.
Yeah. That's right. You come with the Kung Fu. That's right.
Yeah,
Come with
like the Kung Fu with the frog buttons, the white frog buttons.
That's
So
right,
yeah.
yeah.
And then you did boom, and you threw it off, and then you're like,
I should have kept all that.
if we would have known
Yeah.
everything, I would have kept everything.
That's right.
Because there was so much stuff.
Right.
You know, the glasses got shot because John left them on a seat, and somebody came in and sat on his
no.
glasses. Johnny Cage, but they only cost us $12 at Smart. Remember Sport Mart?
Yeah, back then.
Yeah, that went out of business, but we got them there. When we went to do that, I picked up a pair of. John was like, "We can't spend a lot of money," and I picked up a $6 pair of sunglasses. And John looked at me and he's like, "No, we're gonna have to. We could spend $12." So we looked for $12 sunglasses that looked okay on me, and those were the ones we picked.
Well, you picked good ones. That worked on you. So this is the message board that.
Yep. That's if there's any questions, you guys open to answer some questions.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Spectre Files. I love that game. I played that game for like one time I was here and I was supposed to be doing something and then I snuck out and I played it for like 2 hours in the corner. Yeah, probably the MK1 comic.
Yeah.
Justin, yeah, at Andy Kadulka's house. And remember Andy, him and John drawing for 3 days at Andy's kitchen table, and Andy's mom making them food so they can get it done. I think we stopped by just to check them out when we did that.
Right.
When they were over on, he used to live on Pulaski. Or
How
something like
you have
50
such memory of this is amazing.
because a lot of the stuff cracked me up.
Right.
Because when I walked in, I never expected to see so many empty caffeine containers, like Coke and Mountain Dew, and like all spread out. I was just like, "What are you guys doing?" And they're like, "Oh, we got 3 days to finish this comic book." And I was like, 3 days? You guys are freaking crazy.
Right.
And they were like, "We're not going to sleep." And I was like, "Well, I knew already Andy used to practice not sleeping because he was like, you never know when you're in a situation where you can't sleep and they're trying to deprive you, you know, where they're going to try to deprive you of sleep. But if you're accustomed not to sleeping, then they can't deprive you, which makes sense. But who practices that?
Well,
Andy Kadulka does.
That's interesting that these people remember Liu Kang's
Polyphasics.
character takes off while on Shang Tsung's boat. That's amazing that they remember this. Do you guys think that Cobra Kai I don't really watch Cobra Kai, so I don't have an opinion. I'm sure it's really good.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
I haven't seen it. So
I
can't
watch a lot more
comment.
TV than
Yeah.
Hosung's always working.
Yeah, I'm not a big TV person here, so
There's such a huge call for the nostalgia levels and stuff like Cobra Kai, where they bring the original people involved with it back, and that's what the fans want to
Right.
see.
oh, that's interesting.
Like-
Do you know the guy they're raising money for? Is he one of our friends? Or do we know
No,
him?
I think they just want you to do
Do a split.
nut punch on waffles over there.
Oh,
That's great. MK1.
I'll work him over later.
I remember.
I always give him a nut punch. Don't I always give you a nut punch?
It's always our goodbye ritual.
Yeah. He
Was
always
it-
loves it. He's always
Yeah.
smiling when I do it
Yeah.
because it brings him back to childhood.
There was with that call for the nostalgia factor to see you guys. Like if they ever approached you to do like a Mortal Kombat movie or be involved in another MK game, would you ever do it?
I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I am for that if they let me, not me all the way be in charge of it, but let me
How great to
do
be
my
in this one.
if I'm gonna do Johnny Cage, I'm gonna do him how I created him, not the way they have the new Johnny Cage. That's like he's like a psycho. He's got like 10 different personalities. You know what I mean? First he was a serious character, then they didn't have him at all in the game, and then they bought him off back as a goofy character.
Oh,
And I always thought, in my opinion, they're just trying to make fun of me because Ed gets mad at me when I say I co-created the game. So he kind of gets like, oh, you didn't co-create the game. Well, what do you call that when I pitch the game to you, help John pitch the game to you, and then you let me do all the martial arts to figure out the movement? What is that called? Is that
Well, it was a very good collaboration between all the
Yeah.
people. Yeah, that's for
yeah?
sure.
So people deserve some credit for, it was yeah.
So
John,
they want to.
John didn't have a problem with it, and he's the creator.
So someone thinks it's a great idea to bring it back. Yeah, I think so too. The one thing is, I do believe, number one, we could create a really fun game. We'll have a good time doing it and create some cool next level moves, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because
We still train all the time.
we still
Oh,
train
that's
all the time too. The martial arts really hasn't grown any in the game. As far as like they could up. It's been 25 years and they're still doing the same martial art moves. It's about
That's
time they
interesting.
do
So
different.
the guy has a question. Why didn't they bring back the Johnny Cage character for Mortal Kombat trilogy?
Because the Mortal Kombat 3 was not making money, right? They didn't sell any. They had to make like, oh, we're going to bring back, the characters that I helped really big hand in creating. Johnny
Initially-
Cage, Scorpion, Sub-Zero.
Killed
Were
him
not in
off
there.
and didn't have. They did Ultimate, and then Cage came back in Trilogy, played by Chris Alexander.
Yeah, he's a good, nice guy.
Yes.
Plus, he's acting like me, so it does not suck.
It was, and that was only in the console version and PC version, and definitely there was the demand to have him in there because he's such a favorite.
Yeah, I think they had me on a grave. They put a
Yeah,
grave.
they initially-
initially were like Johnny Cage is dead. This is the day he died. But I think and again, it's my opinion. That's how I see it. Is like I had my little hassle with them because things were promised.
You know what would
and
have
then
been
they
nice?
killed off my characters.
What would have been nice was if we would have completed the trilogy, right? Done 3 games. Like after that, you could take it to where you want to go with new people and so on. But it would have been nice to have done the trilogy.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, of course, now. Unfortunately, we weren't able to. But that would have been a good thing to do. But in terms of for the future, to do a game or to do something, I think it would be a lot of fun to do like a Cobra Kai. In this case, what would you call it? Maybe because it wasn't called Cobra Kai. They didn't take the original name for it.
It was Karate Kid.
Right.
Yeah.
So they didn't take the original name.
No, they took the school name.
Right.
Cobra Kai.
So in this case, it would have to be like maybe the characters' names.
Or something, or Justin would know what was in there. What was the name of the ship that sailed into to the island, to Shao Kahn's island? Because it must have a
anybody
name,
would know.
and Justin would know what the name is, And yes, I will do. Don't worry, Tommy's going to get his nut punch later. And I'm going to save one for Shane, who also wants a nut punch.
So maybe John Tobias would be the one to say what names he was used on different things, so that if he decided to create like a Cobra Kai.
Well, you could go with the Liu Kang school. Like he was.
Yes, exactly.
But Shaolin, but he was Shaolin.
Well,
Liu Kang was
hence we
Shaolin.
could just call it Shaolin.
Yeah, Shaolin. Yeah, Shaolin.
So in that case, if they wanted to do something like that, I think it'd be a lot of fun. Number one, I think it would do very well.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Right? Because you're right,
absolutely.
the nostalgia coming back with the characters. I think that would be a whole lot of fun. So maybe we should talk to John about this.
I think it works for Warner Brothers, so they can't, because it's such a big company, they can't take outside ideas because of the IP. You know, because if they take my idea, then they got to be like, oh, you got to pay for the idea, and they don't want to pay for anybody. They barely want to pay each other. You know, they want to keep all the money.
Let's see.
Upcoming.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, I hope the upcoming movie is dark. You know, I like some of the characters, some of the actors that are in it. You know, naturally I like the characters because I created them. So naturally I like them, you know.
Oh, the Dragon Wing.
The Dragon Wing. There, I knew Justin. That's Justin.
He would know.
Oh,
you met
he would
him
know.
at Combat Con.
Got it. So you're
Dragon Wing.
So
So
that's
the
new
Dragon
show.
Wing.
Yeah, that would be the new TV show.
Yeah,
on YouTube,
that
Dragon
would be
Wing.
the new TV show, The Dragon Wing.
That would be fun.
Coming in 2023.
Yes.
And it was renamed
We'll start crowdfunding.
Wow, that's incredible. These people have the information. That's
Send your Galloping
It's
goes
amazing.
to Master D. Pesina. Okay?
The the amount of people that it has meant so much to them. Mortal Kombat is such a huge part of their lives. We see them at the arcade every single day, and the fact that there's the fans that never knew that it was live actors and real martial artists and stuff, but then there's the ones that have followed it from the beginning who literally you just say your name and they
The old guys.
they know you, they know exactly who you are. And people telling stories about, I was at this arcade once and
playing the game,
one of the actors was actually there and I got to meet him, and it's like your fan base is just incredible.
What's funny is, I'll meet a bunch of guys now. They're like, man, when I was a kid, I remember spending so much money on your character. That's the story that I normally get. And I'm like, I would say thank you for the donation, but I'm sorry you went broke from it. Which is
What did you think when you first saw? I saw a question of your first time you viewed your fatality.
Oh, it was fun and shocking at the same time. But yeah, those things. I mean, John Tobias did such a good job to create the magic of all this. So yeah, it was fun watching the first game, but the second game, what I really enjoyed about it is that you felt like, wow, that is the character.
Yeah, the image was so clean.
Yeah.
It was really so
They did
clean.
a really good job. And I realized some of the people who are commenting, I think they said MK1 is their favorite because it was the original. But in terms of I think the level that MK2 went was very impressive.
Yeah. Justin said he's the guy who showed you the prototype for Theo Realm Fighters.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Justin, I remember. Right. We can talk about this later. Justin, I'm shocked that you have this much information on Mortal Kombat.
I just spoke to him this morning because for some reason I was like, hey, Happy New Year. And I was like, I asked him a particular question and he texted me back like that answer like this. Boom.
Right.
He like had the info and I was like, holy, he really is a walking encyclopedia of Mortal Kombat. He knows everything. He knows exactly everything.
I think if you did a
That's
TV
awesome.
show
we'd have to have him there to make sure that
everything is done right.
Yeah, to be like, oh, you can't. That way, if Justin's like, hey, because he's kind of quiet and nice, he could come up to me, hey, it should be like this. I would, it should be fucking like this. I swear. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear, but it's supposed to be like this. Don't change it because you're going to ruin it for the fans.
Right, but you need a consultant to make sure everything is done right. And obviously, he has the most amount of information.
I also played Reptile. I actually gave Reptile the Venom spit because I loved the Amazing Spider-Man anime that was on TV. Remember that, Doc? The Amazing Spider-Man. I love that. And I remembered when he fought the doctor who turned into a reptile. What was his character's name? The reptile?
Was it Lizard?
Lizard. I loved the Lizard, and then when he was fighting Spider-Man, he would spit like this venom at Spider-Man, and Spider-Man was dodging. So when John was like, we got to think of something for Reptile, I was like, oh, he's got to spit venom like in The Amazing Spider-Man. That's how geeky I am.
That's awesome.
Damn saying he'll be a consultant.
Okay.
There was so much merchandise put out for Mortal Kombat. Did you guys see that on the shelves and stuff? And was there anything that you saw that was just like, wow, there's like obviously you saw the action figures and
here's an interesting story. Sorry, Ho.
Okay.
If you look at like my Instagram, or some of Doc's stuff, or some of the pictures, there's a set of pictures that Hosung, Rich, Liz, Carlos, and myself took that were to make for merchandising. They were taking us in different poses to think of how to do merchandising. And while I think it was John was taking the pictures, I was behind him with my little camera, also taking pictures. Because John would be like, dude, give me some space. Because I would be like, because he had an eye. So if he took a picture from this camera, I would like be also taking a picture from that camera because it was going to turn out good. So like you're in different poses. I have like a set. I think I have 20 pictures of you that might have not ever been out.
One day
that I have to scan.
Yeah. One day
that
I
should scan. Yeah. And then I have like 20 of Rich, 20 of Liz. You know, I don't know how many. I used to just give them away, so I might only have 2 or 3 of Scorpion, and I have a bunch of Johnny Cage. And I think you use them sometimes for the Combat Con pictures.
Yeah.
Some of the pictures that show in a black backdrop. So those were before merchandising. We took those for them to sell to merchandising to get an idea of what the characters would really like, you know. And then when John was like, yeah, we're going to use it for that, after a few weeks, I was like, John, are they going to pay us for that? Because it's our image. And John was like, I don't know, let me ask. And then John came back and he's like, no, they're going to use my drawings instead. But they forgot to know that, his drawings were inspired by us. So it never worked out. But that's freedom of the artist.
They ask if the sunglasses, was it your idea or Tobias's idea?
Sunglasses were John's.
Yeah.
Yeah, John has a good.
And there was somebody else in the feed that I didn't get a chance to read carefully, but they were mentioning something about how the TV show should be done, and that was an interesting take on it. So if you want to repost it, please do so. Then it was suggesting.
No, somebody asked about WMAC Masters.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, how you like that.
Oh, WMC Masters. So it was great. They had a Hosung Pak action figure, which is awesome. They had a Hosung Pak Superstar character
which
action
is
figure.
Better than Liu Kang because it's Hosung Pak.
Superstar. And so the reason why they use Superstar for my character's name, since you watched the show, you would maybe know this. So in Korean, the name Ho-sung means superstar. Ho is super and sung is star. So for the TV show, they asked, could we just use the meaning of your name as your nickname? And I was like, yeah, let's go for it. So that's how they came up with Hosung Pak Superstar. It wasn't that I felt like I was a superstar, so please don't think that. It was my
your name,
my
your real name.
The meaning of my name. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
That's WMC Masters. And thank you for watching and being a part of that.
Doc, I saw Justin say that Dr. Curtis Connors,
the lizard,
is the lizard. Thanks. That's who the reptile is. So whenever you look at Reptile, know that he is actually
that the action figure?
Dr. Curtis Connors.
What?
Oh yeah, there you are.
Oh, I love it. So my action figure. Okay.
Do you have one?
Here's the story of the action figure. So they gave us some action figure, which is great, and then they obviously want to sell the rest. So they sold a bunch, and I had maybe 50 action figures, I think. Somehow it got whittled down to I think about 10. I have 10 left. So I'm holding on to the 10 because it's mine and it's of me, and they'll never make it again, right? So if I lose the 10, I'll cry. So yes, I believe I have 6 or 7 in the box still, and a few outside the box. And I had some friends that still had the character, not in the box, but had the character out. So one day I was going to do like because you could find it on eBay, I believe. I was going to do.
How much are they?
Well, I'm not sure, but
You've got people offering to buy them already.
so what I was going to do is I was going to give on my Facebook page, right? And I don't do social media much, guys, because it just consumes too much of my time and I prefer not to do it. But at one point, since I did do social media, I was thinking whoever had the Hosung Pak Superstar doll, if they could do some creative things with it, put them in like, let's say in front of a microphone singing or doing something with it. Like, let's say you go to on a hike and you put them on top of a mountain, doing something creative with it. And whoever won the creative contest, like I'd give $100 to, right? Or something like that. But the caveat is that they have to own or have in their possession the character, the WMC character, Hosung Pak Superstar. So I thought that would be a lot of fun. And I thought, I'm going to try to do this one day. And I thought to myself, it's a lot of work. So I did not do it. But if somebody wants to do something like that and help promote it and help organize it and so on, then maybe we can talk and I can fork out the money for it for whoever wins the most fun picture contest or video contest of the character.
We would be happy to handle
one
that
day.
for
Yeah.
you.
So
That
maybe
would be-
one day that will be like a fun thing that we can do and the winner could have a prize and so on. But if you don't, the thing is, if you don't have the Hosung Pak WMC Master Superstar character, then you have to buy it on eBay because unfortunately, guys, mine are not for sale.
Yeah, 'cause you gotta hold them.
Yeah, I got to hold on to a few.
Since Jasper's in the Netherlands and it's got to be like 3:00 in the morning.
Wow.
I told him to
Now
step on.
he is awesome. That's great that you stayed up to say hello.
Hey, Lita.
It's
How's it
been a long
going?
time since we've said hello here.
Yeah. Since Comic Con.
Yeah.
Good. Are you tired?
Sorry?
You tired?
No, I'm okay. More of a night person. So
What time is it there?
it's 2 o'clock.
2:00 in the morning.
Yes.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's pretty late. That's pretty early in the morning.
Yeah.
Staying up and hanging out with us. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I'm
Yeah.
weekend now, so it's okay.
Yeah. So we're just talking about whatever's coming up on the stream.
Right.
Thank
yeah,
you,
we
Doc.
just,
No, thank you for tuning in. And don't forget, we're at try to like any Galloping Ghost media site so that we can keep on doing this.
right.
I invited Rich, but Rich said it was too late.
He called and he asked what was going on with it.
And I was like,
And-
Rich, just come hang out. And he's like, oh, that's too late. I got to
Well-
work in the morning. I was like, Rich.
It's okay. He could do it next time.
Yeah.
I think two is good
Is good,
because
yeah.
we have to tell
Oh,
the
you have the
stories.
Hosung comic book. I still have
Yeah.
2 of the Hosung comic
Oh,
books.
so that's the other one. So maybe I should do something else with the comic books. I think I have like 100 left, and that's it. Like there's no more after that, right? Because it was a limited run.
eBay.
So, yeah, well, I'll do something with the comic books maybe one day. We can figure out both the WMC Masters character and the comic book.
All the MK original actors, creators are from Chicago.
From America, hello from the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Tracy is here. They're checking in from the UK.
Awesome. Welcome. Wow, the UK is also kind of late, right?
Yeah, UK's
One
got
in,
a
one in the morning.
Morning. We'll
One in the
appreciate
morning
you
in UK.
hanging out with us.
Hey,
That's awesome.
Thanks for staying tuned.
The comic book from Hosung. Yeah, there's a Hosung Pak comic book, and
The number of ninjas was originally there's just going to be one, but because of time constraints, John was like, oh, we have to do 2, and also the original one was going to be was Tony. Tony was going to be the Lin Kuei, and then he dropped the 25-pound weight on his toe, broke it, and he couldn't do the movements. Then John was like, you have to do it because we're running out of time.
Oh, got it. Any of the MK character actors, Chicago? Yes, I think most of us are from Chicago, right?
Yeah, all of us are from Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we grew up in Chicago. I live in Los Angeles now, but I grew up here. Went to school in Champaign.
Yeah, there is a Hosung comic book. What's the name of it? Hosung?
Hosung Pak. Yeah.
Hosung Pak?
Yeah, it's
Is
a
the
cool
name-
comic
how
book,
did that-
actually. Yeah,
It has him jumping,
Yeah.
jump kick on the front.
How
The
did
comic
that come
books
to
I
are
be?
think me and Rich are in it for a little bit.
Oh yeah, you guys are. Yeah, your pictures are in there, and we
Yeah.
talk about Mortal Kombat. We talk about different turtles. We talk about different things, right? It came
And
to
then
me
you
because
fight bad guys.
yes, it's actually a very cool comic book. The people that did it,
There is some
great Great guys. The comic book came about. I was approached by a couple guys, about to do a comic book together, and I thought that sounds fun. And the girl who drew it, the artist, I'm sorry, I forget her name, but she was incredible. So if you guys do get a chance to pick up the comic book, it is pretty cool. So take a look at it.
You could buy it on eBay for $200.
You guys be doing
Just reach out to me, and I'll reach out to Hosan.
Signing. Daniel does a lot of signings. I don't do as much, but Danny has twisted my arm to do some with him. So in the future, we will be doing some.
Yeah.
That's more about a Danny question. He takes care of that stuff.
For Monday Mystery, always tune in to Monday Mystery because you never know when I'm going to stop by. I think a couple weeks ago I stopped by with Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll drag somebody else in there.
Tony
so
was
always watch Monday Mystery.
promoting
Always.
Kung Fu Rockstar, his new book. Do either of you have plans to do? We've seen Philip On do a book. We've seen Tony do a book.
I was the first one to start a book, and I will be the last one to finish it. I always look at writing is so difficult because when I look at it, I'm like, oh, I want to change this. It's just like how
you just keep editing.
Yeah, we just keep editing. I just keep editing it. It's just like how we created Mortal Kombat. I want to do this. No, I'm going to change it to that. Oh, that. What are you doing? Oh, I want to do something better. It's like freaking taking forever. But eventually I will.
What is Monday Mystery?
Monday Mystery, he has 800 arcade games. So every Monday, this crazy guy adds another one.
Oh.
So it's 801, right?
Wow. We put 802 out Monday.
Okay,
Wow.
so next Monday, he's going to think of another arcade game to put out there in 803.
Got it.
And 2, come down and support Galloping Ghost, guys. If you're local or if you want a vacation or want a couple days, come down. This is me asking, not Doc, because he's married. But yeah, it's, during these COVID times, it's really, really tough. So, reach out and keep support because you like coming here, but without support, he can't keep it open. He's not a rich guy. So if he was rich, we'd be hanging out and doing this podcast in Hawaii.
Now,
but Tommy would still be here in Chicago because that's what he deserves, to be in the freaking cold.
I like the
Cold.
I'm driving in from Baltimore. It'd be good to see and meet you guys. Although from Baltimore, you're kind of far from Chicago. I don't know if that's.
No, he is actually. He's coming in next week.
Oh, he's coming in next week.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
he's like one of our.
Hosung will be back home. He's going back to California where it's warm.
Danielle
Chicago
saying,
is a little bit cold.
Loved MK as a kid.
Danielle? You're Danielle?
Yeah.
Hey, Danielle. Happy New Year.
You said play Sega. And,
She was huge in MK2.
Okay, and then you have people that's been coming there for years, which is great.
I think I saw, quick question. We pitched the game to Ed.
Dinner is on me. Okay, well then.
Actually, originally.
We'll go to dinner. There you go.
A different idea. So originally, it almost didn't happen.
My top Donkey Kong score is 1,000,000 something for the arcade. I assume that's a really high score.
You got a question for Ho, Jasper?
That's incredible, I assume.
That's definitely a good one.
Yeah. I don't play Donkey Kong, but I know I hadn't seen scores in the million, that's for sure.
Out.
Were there other arcade games that you were into?
I started with, what's amazing is I started with Space Invaders. The first game, you see it and you're just like, wow, this is great.
Used to play Pac-Man a lot.
Yes, and then Pac-Man. It helped because my name was Pac, my last name's Pac. And then Defenders, Asteroids, a few of those like old arcade games. And then I stopped playing them until MK, came out. I got stuck with school, had to go to school. And Danny and I don't know if you guys know this, but we used to practice 6, 7, 8 hours a day, every day.
7 days a week.
You don't get great at something unless you dedicate that kind of time, right? Like if we had done, let's say, an hour or two a day, you become good at something, but not great at something. To become great at something, you have to put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and a lot of time into it. So we would go anywhere, to gym, outside, tennis courts, anywhere.
In front of your house on the street?
Yeah. And we would practice.
Your mom hollered at us, and then we had to go by Tony's house because your mom was like, "Don't be practicing in front of a house. You're going to get hit by a car."
And, it's amazing that we used to practice literally at times from sun up to sundown. That's how you get good at something. So in terms of the Mortal Kombat, like a lot of people don't understand what it takes to get there, because you have to do a lot, but it does take a lot to be as proficient in something as that. Think of it as golf or anything else, where the professionals do work out 6-8 hours a day, and that's really what we did.
Yeah. And two, it's like a professional thing. It's not like a guy who does it 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah, we were not casual performers.
Yeah, to set like that. But once we had the mold too, we were able. I remember like John and Ed spent like a couple of weeks with me at Lakeshore. Like we would go over of how to get other actors, because we wanted to get more actors to be in there. But John was like, "Oh, I want somebody who's really, really cut up." You know what I mean? And who's a different shape than you guys. And so we were thinking of getting like models, and I was like, we can cheat like sidekicks
you
like this
cheat,
or like that.
People will
know.
know.
Basic.
Yeah, people will know.
But in the end, they do know.
Yeah, people will know when something's a fraud, right? And they can sense it. And in some of those other games, they probably just got anybody to play it, and you know that the art is not there. And so I think when they know that it's real, it looks real and is real, I think people could appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Right? So, gosh, I'm sorry I'm missing some of these messages that people are writing. So if we missed the message...
Here's a question.
Right again.
Yeah, there's a couple. Let me see. Was WMAC Masters inspired by Mortal Kombat, or just martial arts in general?
You know what? I think my guess is that it was inspired. I'm not the producer of it, so I'm not sure. But it was like the... WMAC Masters was the best martial artists coming together in a tournament setting, which is kind of what Mortal Kombat is. So it has a similar feel to it. Maybe it was inspired by it. It was certainly not a copy of it. It's very different. But it is certainly, like many things are inspired by other things. So there are some similarities, but it is very different. And in terms of the martial arts aspect of it, they did get some very good, talented people on the show, I thought. What's interesting was I think Danny and Tony would have been on it in the future years, but they decided to go with a different show after a couple of years, and the different show that they decided to focus on was unbelievably Pokemon. And if you have a choice between WMC Masters and Pokemon, I think you're picking Pokemon all day, all night.
Yeah.
So
that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
That's what happened with WMC Masters.
Yeah, but I think we used to. One of the places we played arcades at, games at, was Dennis. Remember Dennis?
Yeah.
Dennis for arcades. That place was awesome, man.
Yeah.
We would go there.
North side of Chicago. That's right.
Yeah, we go to Dennis's. Yeah, go ahead.
Hosang, was it you in the junkyard fight scene in Ninja Turtles 2?
That's a really good question. Yes. Okay, so that.
Can you read the question, or can you say the question in the mic so the chat?
Oh, okay. So the question is.
I'll do the question. So the question is Hosang in the junkyard scene of the movie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze? And the answer is
yes. That was Daniel and I. We were in the scene together because Daniel plays his foot soldier in it. That was the hardest scene and the hardest day I think of any film I've ever done since I've been doing films. And the reason why is because it's a pretty elaborate fight scene, and you're in the costume. So the costume is about 40 pounds, right? And it is hot. And when I say hot, it got to like 120 plus degrees, I think more. Like steam would be coming out of the costume at the end of the day when it got a little bit chillier. And like you don't see steam anywhere else except for us when we're about to take off the costume. It was so hot. But we choreographed that scene, and it took probably a couple weeks to choreograph just the scene itself because I can't see out of the costume. And the movement that you do without the costume and the movement you do with the costume is completely different. So I can't see anything. And so if Danny's, in one area, I tell him, this is my movement. So you're going to have to be there. If I hit you, I hit you. And if I don't hit you, I don't. So it was blind luck, basically, right? So I have this whole thing choreographed, and all the people who play the foot soldiers, they have to be at the right place at the right time. And I remember doing the scene about, I think altogether 12 or 15 times, and in full, I think 12 times, 15 takes with not in full. So I ended
cameras
up,
and 3 cameras, 3 angles.
So I remember drinking, I believe, a 6 can of Mountain Dew. I'm not promoting Mountain Dew, but it was 6-can of Mountain Dew. 2 liter of Mountain Dew, and I believe a full gallon of water for that scene. And I believe I did not go to the bathroom that whole morning from 6 a.m. to 6 till noon, which is, I think, it took about 6 hours to do that shot, and which tells you how much you perspired at that point.
Yeah, it came out of you.
It was crazy. And I think after that, I couldn't move for the next day or so. They try to catch all that as quickly as possible, and it's just
right?
it's just not
cramps your
possible.
muscle.
Yeah. That scene is outside, right? So it was hot outside, and it was the hardest scene I had ever done. So good question.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions here. So.
Okay, so if you find something like that, something that you think is unique, let me know, and then we'll get back to what was the most fun fatalities you guys enjoy. What is the most fun fatalities? Fun fatalities. I'm not sure. Liu Kang, I think, was kind of, mine was generic with the butterfly kick with the uppercut, and then you turn into Dragon, which was also kind of generic, but maybe some of the other characters are...
Yeah, my favorite is, naturally I created, is Sonya's Kiss of Death. That's my favorite.
Right.
Because naturally when I created it, and two, I like that idea of her, when she blew it, I was like, oh, John, you have to make it a butterfly, the kiss of butterfly, and do it. And then when John was like, yeah, make it a butterfly, told Ed to make it a butterfly, it did it, and then when it exploded, it was really, really cool.
Yeah,
Vanilla Ice.
Yes, the Vanilla Ice movie. One guy, when asked which scene, it was when he got captured. Correct, he got captured in that scene. Vanilla Ice, he was really cool.
In the fight with his bodyguards.
Yeah, we almost got in a fight with his bodyguards.
What happened was, so that is true. So what happened was, I believe the guy who was playing Michelangelo was going up to Vanilla Ice to say something or say hello, and the bodyguard, for some reason, one of his bodyguards took it as kind of an aggressive move, which I'm not sure why. You're on set.
A guy in a turtle suit.
Yeah, and you're on set
with a full turtle suit.
It's not like
he's short. Michelle is only like
5'2".
Yeah, 5'2", 5'1".
So and the bodyguard punched him, not hard, but just kind of punched him and pushed him away. And then it kind of got tense for a little bit. And then after that, things relaxed. But I believe that was the introduction of everyone at that time. So probably not the best introduction, but everything smoothed out and everything was fine. He was a good guy. Everything, it was good. Yeah.
Yeah, we were going after him. Like the foot, like Ho was.
It was going to go down.
Ho started taking off his helmet, and all the guys. And two, we're on set with 18, because the majority of guys the foot soldiers were 18. We had extras filling in, and then out of that, 12 of them are black belts. Like, good. We had some extra guys there.
I don't know why he would do that. Yeah,
but he did that, and we're going after them. And then Pat Johnson's like, guys, we're professional. Don't worry. He goes, I'll take care of this later. And then when Pat Johnson says, I'll take care of it later, he's going to flip and take care of it later.
Yeah. I don't know why a bodyguard would do that in front of, a bunch of black belts, because at the end of the day, there's no way he's winning that fight. But, maybe he had his own reasons to try to help protect Vanilla Ice, which at that time, to be fair, Vanilla Ice was becoming a huge rapper, right? I believe he was the first rapper to ever have a number one. Like MC Hammer came before him, but never had a number one single. Vanilla Ice at that point had it. And people make fun of him here and there, but, he is a talented person, and he did have a number one single. Not many people can say that.
Yeah, that doesn't suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, And two, it's at the time, and everybody likes that song,
it was a good song. It was a catchy song.
Yeah, it was a good song, and it was cool that we did that scene. Remember, we were in that thing. That was a fun scene. We did that like for 2 days.
No, that scene was, I think, 4 days.
4 days.
Maybe your memory was 2 days.
Well, yeah, because we were drinking.
Yeah, that scene was 4 days, and it was a very fun scene. It was the best time during the.
Yeah, I think that was the best time because too, they brought in all the extra. There was literally like 300 or 400 extras
from that town from Wilmington, North Carolina, which
so they were coming out,
and they were really nice people. The extras there, they were really good people, fine people. Just we had a great time with them. And they had a great time on set.
Somebody's literally holding, Lars is literally holding his MK2 VHS tape. That's awesome.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Ninja Rap, right? That's where it came from.
Yeah, Ninja Rap. Go Ninja. That's where Donatello loosened my teeth because he changed the kick. He got dizzy, changed the kick, and he front kicked me in the teeth instead of roundhouse kick.
Right. Well, sometimes you're in the costume and you just don't know what
Yeah,
you're doing.
I almost got my teeth knocked out.
Did you guys see unofficial Mortal Kombat cameo in Wreck-It Ralph? I did not see Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, I did. I saw Kano in it.
Oh, okay.
Kano is in it for sure. Yeah.
No, that
And
sounds
two,
unprofessional.
Kano,
You can't believe
Kano is always
with
rich.
a
Rich
bodyguard on
is
set.
Kano because you can't beat that look. And two, I have a big qualm with making Kano Australian because didn't they read the Mortal Kombat booklet in the first game? It clearly says he's American and Japanese,
Right.
and then all of a sudden now he's from Australia, and that's a far fetch. They got to fix that.
Yeah, they do need to take care of those type of things. I mean, when you change nationalities and races and so on, you should try to stay true to the form. That's
Justin,
as
get
much
on
as
that.
possible. Yeah, as much as possible.
Justin, you get on that. Change that.
Somebody asked about, it's very unprofessional that Vanilla, well, first of all, Vanilla had a bodyguard on set. Yeah, you know what? I agree. When you're on set, there's a few things you don't need. One of them is a bodyguard because the set, number one, to get on set is hard, right? Because you need your passes and there's guards and security at the gate and so on. So to have now security through security is kind of an overkill. And I think, a person that does that is not, my personal opinion to you, and I'm not saying this about Vanilla, but my personal opinion is a person that's not secure themselves. If you're secure themselves, like you don't, we did a film, for example, with a person like Bruce Willis. He doesn't have a bodyguard with him. He just comes on set and he comes in as himself. That's it. And people, Mark Wahlberg, everyone else, they just come as themselves. For you to come with a bodyguard, I think it says more about you than it says about the other people.
Well said.
Yeah.
That's a well said.
You see this foot soldiers that were released in 2020.
I have on here a question.
Okay, shoot.
Can you ask Osam about working with Ken Lo on Drunken Master 2?
So the question for Hosung right now is working with Jackie Chan and who?
Ken Lu.
Ken Lu on Mortal Kombat 2.
No. Drunken Master 2.
Drunken Master.
It's called Legend of Drunken Master in America. It's called Drunken Master 2 in, I believe, Europe and Asia. So when you refer to it as Drunken Master 2, absolutely. In America, people will know it as Legend of Drunken Master. So Ken is a great guy. He was actually, so some people know this, not everyone. He's the bodyguard of Jackie Chan, right? So when we were doing the
That's
film,
pretty badass.
yeah, to be the bodyguard. And Ken is a great guy, and he's a true martial artist, and he's a good fighter.
Tommy is leaving the building.
No, I'm just plugging in my charger.
Ken is great to work with. He's super talented, and yet at the same time, he's very humble. At least on set, I don't know how he is when he's out partying or doing whatever he does, but on set, and he's very humble. And Jackie was great to work with, and the director who actually picked me, Sifu, I call him Sifu Lao, who unfortunately passed away. He was also the director of 36 Chambers, all those old Mad Monkey Kung Fu.
He's friggin' famous.
Incredible
Love that movie.
old school martial arts films. If you guys want to see fun old school martial arts films, he directed some of the really badass ones. He's the one that picked me, and he was also very nice and awesome to work with. I was in Asia filming that for 8 months. It took a lot longer than they had anticipated, but it was a great experience, and it helped me with a bunch of other projects in the future after that. But working with Ken, Jackie, and Sifu Lao, great experience.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's get back. If you find something else, let us know. We'll get back to and start Wilmington gaming when in Wilmington. You guys.
I know. There's a couple of people that have gaming stuff. Kung Fu Cult Master is a good film.
Yeah, what are some of your other favorite martial arts films?
We have not met the NEB gamings.
Where is that in Wilmington? The NEB game.
Let us know what that is or isn't. I'm not sure, but Wilmington's a great city.
Yeah, that
amazing
place.
Yeah. Yes, he was originally orphaned in Tokyo. There you go.
Yeah. So Casey Jones movie action figure. The new ones are cool. I ordered some of the new ones.
Did you?
Yes, I got 2 foot soldiers and naturally a Raphael. Naturally. Doing that.
Kung Fu Cult Master, also a
Anything,
film
anything for
you
you
won't
over
see
there,
here in the
Jasper?
States. You're familiar. I'm not familiar with that.
Your favorite Shaw Brothers movies?
Favorite Shaw Brothers movies? Like Man Monkey Kung Fu. We went to see that
Yeah, we did, that was
Delphi?
great.
Delphi?
Yeah, those are the movies that inspired us to be great in martial arts, right? 36 Chambers.
Five
Great.
Deadly Venoms.
Um,
Yeah, naturally.
A favorite?
A favorite.
Master Killers. Jackie Chan movies, Drunken Master, and all that
Well,
stuff.
I don't know if. Correct me if I'm right or wrong on this. Would Bruce Lee's films be qualified in that? Do you know?
Sorry?
Do you know if Bruce Lee's films would be the Shaw Brothers films? Did the Shaw Brothers, like, who made the early
Run
Bruce
Run
Lee
Shaw.
films?
Run Run Shaw made Enter the Dragon, right?
Well, it came out through Warner Brothers, but did they actually produce it, Run Run Shaw?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so then.
That's Shaw Brothers.
Yeah, so Enter the Dragon obviously is one of my favorites, but I would say the favorite one would have to be the Chinese Connection, which is the one that he fought the Japanese soldiers.
Yeah, jumping sidekick at the end.
Yeah, I think that was a badass film. Like you would see one guy come and be like, "Oh no, you ain't coming," and into our neighborhood.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, and just kicking ass. So, like, those things could inspire you to be great at something. Watching that and wanting to imitate that, to be a part of that, or do something like that. So that, for me, that's what I would say.
Mack asking if there's any chance of getting Book of Swords on Netflix.
Oh yeah, they should do that. I should work on that. I've been kind of lazy about those things, but yeah, I'll start working on those type of things.
Try asking, how frequently do fans recognize you just out on the streets?
It was a lot more, I would say, in the 90s and early 2000s. Pretty much wherever you go. But I would say as time passes by, people don't. It's not in their minds anymore. Whether it's Mortal Kombat or in this case, Legend Drunken Master, or WNC Masters or other projects that we've done. So I think as time goes by, it's less and less. And you get some surprises here and there. But in the 90s and early 2000s, a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah. Do we? Yeah, I think. Well, because I'm
American
still,
Ninja was good,
I'm
yeah,
still
sure.
going to events, so I think I get recognized. Not this year as much, but when I
right,
go to
winter
a lot of
events, yeah,
events, you get
absolutely, yeah.
recognized a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
I was wandering the streets of Argentina once, and I'm just shopping. I'm looking for something for my mom, and I'm shopping, and some guy comes and taps me on it. He's like, "Master Pesina, I couldn't get to the event. Will you take a picture with me?" And I'm in the friggin' middle of Argentina. I'm like going
That's
into
great.
some shop, and this guy's on. So I took a picture with him.
Which is actually funny that you say about different areas. I was in the Philippines and in a small town, and the guy recognized me from Mortal Kombat out of all the things in the world. And he's like, "Are you the guy that plays Liu Kang?" And I was like, "How did you know?" And I think he must have been like 25 years old. So maybe he played it as it came out the second time around. So yeah, from all over the world, I think you get surprises.
Yeah.
Let's say. Somebody was saying yes. I believe Chinese Connection was renamed Fist of Fury.
Yeah, in
right?
the
That's
States.
In the States.
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct. After the altered, Chinese Connection to Fist of Fury.
Warminator asking, saying, did I see you and The Miz from WWE taking pictures?
Yeah, I hung out with the guys from WWE.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's that was awesome because man, they are so different than their stage personalities, but their personalities are still big. But behind the scenes, they're just like regular geeks like us. Like they play video games and do all this stuff, and they freak out with this stuff. And I think the guy who won, I forget his name now. He actually won the first black guy to win the belt. When he met me, he cried because he was like, "Oh my God." He was like, me and my brother played with you all day when we were kids.
That's
He's
awesome.
like, "You're really here." And then he started crying because it was just that looking at me and remember him and his brother playing the game all day long. And it just was like, holy cow, it's surreal, I guess, for them. And then later on, he won the championship,
That's
the
amazing,
belt.
yeah.
Yeah, the belt.
Good
It was
for
like,
him.
holy cow.
Obviously, he also trains hard, which is great.
Oh, yeah.
So yes, the streaming service for Fist of the Warrior, I believe it's Netflix. It's free. I mean, not Netflix. YouTube. It's free. If you just type in on YouTube on your TV, Fist of the Warrior, it plays with ads, but you can watch it there. It's free, and it's a cool little film. I think you will enjoy it. Daniel was on the game. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Kofi Kingston. Correct. Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Okay.
That guy's awesome. They're all awesome. This is awesome. They're like so cool.
I love it that these people know exactly what is going on. That's great. You guys have a wealth of information.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I had a question. Who has the WMAC belt?
Who owns a WMAC belt? WC Masters belt.
Oh, you know
Do
what?
we have one?
I did not take it. Darn it. The original company, 4Kids Production, the company that did Pokemon, they own it. And I believe they took everything in storage thinking we're going to do a third season. And I think third season was not done because of Pokemon. They focused on that instead, which I think any person would have done. But yeah, they would have it. If they still have it, I'm not sure. But really, they should bring it back for streaming service. It's a fun thing to make for kids, right?
Yeah, and adults would watch it.
Yeah, people who
Jasper would buy the whole series and watch it, right, Jasper?
You're awesome.
Yeah. Justin would buy like 5 copies, one to watch and one to put on his shelf, and 3 hiding just in case.
And they'd stream it and watch it on stream also. That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Book of Swords, yeah, he has a couple copies of Book of Swords.
Oh,
because he's from the Netherlands, so they have that there.
That's right. Yeah. Well, thank you for watching. Yeah, that's great.
A new copy a couple of years ago in the store.
Right.
We're still selling them here.
That's great. Well, I appreciate you taking your time to watch it.
So send them to me, and I'll have Hosung sign them, and then we'll sell them on eBay.
No, no.
I have those.
Hold on to it. I'll when I see you next time, I'll sign it. You let me know. No. You hold on to it. I'll see you one day.
Yeah, I can send you a copy.
Oh, right. But hold on to the rest.
I'm trying to talk him into going to that event in England, if it happens next year or this year. So then he could sign it there.
Yeah. And other stuff that we get to do.
Try saying you inspired a lot of people over time. My cousin became a black belt because of Johnny Cage.
That's awesome.
And he sported the sunglasses. That's awesome.
That's even better, yeah.
Here, Fat Chris wanted you guys to see this. Here, let me move it for you guys. This picture up here.
Oh yeah!
Wow.
The original Foot Clan outfit.
You know what's so funny?
It looks really good.
That looks exactly like the Foot Clan outfit. These guys wore. Wow, that's great. Are you saying that he has that, or it's a picture he pulled up?
He said just look at it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those are.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually bought 2 of those. Like I said, I bought 2 of those and the Raphael. The Raphael looks exactly like what you wore. It's a retro one, so it looks exactly like the rubber outfit, one, like the rubber one. Yeah.
They were made out of latex. Like I said, they were 40 pounds, and my goodness, they were heavy. It was hard. Hey man, we're fans. Well, I appreciate you being a fan. I have a few pieces from the toy belts. Oh, that's right. So I think I do have a toy belt, and I do have a few pieces, and I'm holding on to them. So they will not be for sale. Maybe one day I'll put them up for some
Maybe I'll
contest.
go buy them and have some sign and make my own little profit.
Have you ever worked with Donnie Yen? I have not. Donnie Yen, when I competed, he also competed. His time was before me though, so he came before me when and then he had left competition, and then I started competing. And from what I'm told, when he competed in America, he did very well. So I know he's talented, but I don't know in terms of working with him. And what he can and cannot do. I have those. I have the American and the European Book of Swords. Awesome. Thank you for getting the Book of Swords DVD.
Go ahead.
Master Pesina and Mr. Hosung first. Happy New Year. Second,
Happy New Year.
Master Yin Heng says hello too.
Oh, Li Jing Hung.
What year did you two meet Lin Jen Heng? Mid-1980s?
We met Li Jing Hung. We drove to Ohio because the Beijing Wushu team was doing a seminar in Ohio. So Hosung, myself, his brother Ho-Young, Tony, and Rich jumped in my car, and we freaking drove like 12 hours because back then they're legends.
Yeah.
They're martial art legends. Li Jing Hung. So he rope dart. My first rope darts. He was the rope dart master.
Okay.
So it was back then, and that was like, man, that was 82, 83?
Something like that.
Yeah,
wow.
that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
We're crazy old.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is the new. What is either one of you guys accept the bottle cap kick challenge? I'm not sure what that is.
That's where you spin the cap off the bottle. You throw a kick and do that. I was going to do that, but then Justin Bieber did that. And then I was like, now it's too lame to do for me. I don't really like him. So
Maybe some other challenges.
I was like, nah,
the ones that Justin Bieber can't do. We'll try. Right? What was that? Darn it. The blindfolded thing, it's not a big deal. Once you're trained in martial arts and kind of the distance that you can kick, just FYI for you guys, when people do it blindfolded, it's not a big deal, right? Once you become proficient in martial arts, and you've been doing it for a while, and obviously Donnie Yen's been doing it for a long time. So anybody who's really proficient in martial arts and knows distance and so on, could probably do it. And it's not to put it down, but I guess what I'm trying to say is it's not as unbelievable as you think it is.
Yeah.
Those things.
Yeah, it's just like you put a professional basketball player on the free throw, and then you give him the ball and put the blindfold on him. He's gonna friggin'
like Michael Jordan, right? Easily closes his eyes and could make it. So it's the same thing. It's not that big of a deal. If it was a big deal, I'll tell you guys. It was a big deal. Rope dart was the most skill in martial arts. Yes, rope dart is awesome. I would agree with that. Rope dart is an awesome weapon and a technique.
Hey, Chile. Say hi to Chile.
Oh.
People from Chile.
Oh, well, hello. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate that. You know what is impressive, though? I don't know if this is real or not. I never found out because I've only seen it one time. But I saw Jean-Claude do the splits on the trucks. I don't know whether that's, some sort of visual effects or anything like that. I guess I could find out since I'm in the film industry. I could ask somebody.
He's on
But
trucks, but he's on ropes. I've seen it.
okay, there you go.
Ropes, okay.
So if that was real,
that would have
been impressive.
Yeah,
like that is something. Move. Yeah, like that is something I'd be like, holy cow, that's impressive. So as he said, it's done on ropes and so on. So is it as impressive? It's okay at this point. It is what it is. But if people could do something like that, then I would be impressed. If that's what you're asking about, things to be impressed by. I can't believe how chill Hosang Pak is. I'm pretty chill, right? I remember Shang Tsung, Jackie Chan did rope.
We almost got hit with a chain whip once. That's awesome. One of our friends who did work on one of the other games, Q, got scraped with a chain whip and got like 18 stitches across his face.
Yeah, chain whip is another weapon that, in general, it's okay, but if you get hit, it hurts, yeah. Did you guys ever figure martial arts studio in Milwaukee? Lawrence,
Tian. You're talking about Tian. I worked with her at a different school. She's okay. She's not bad.
I don't know if I've ever been there. Maybe I stopped by? I'm not familiar.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Do you remember that scorpion fatality? Which fatality?
Or maybe they're talking about Sifu Henry's on Lawrence. Did you ever remember the scorpion fatality? The when he took off his mask? I wonder if they're talking about that one. It was funny creation.
Tab saying I'd like to hear about the time you spent training in China.
It's brutal. You know what? I gotta convert. I gotta bring it to Doc. I got a copy of you and Tony in China.
So China was another wow. China was incredible. So we went to learn. Tony and I went to China to learn from Coach Wang Jinbao, who was he also taught Jet Li. So he was the guy who taught Jet Li. So to train with him, we had a morning workout from 8 a.m. till noon. And it killed you. And when I say it literally killed you. So we would go and have lunch, go to sleep, and train from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. So two training sessions,
8 hours total.
8 hours total. And what was incredible was the next day you think you can't train. You're like, I'm done training. And you would have to get up and you would walk. Well, in this case, when you're walking, I'm not even sure how we were able to walk there. Like I felt like we were going to crawl there. But by the time we're done with the workout, you were so sore and you couldn't walk. So they would have to take me on a bicycle, and I would be in the back of the bicycle, and they would have to bicycle me back to the hotel to be able to rest and come back and do the same thing over again. And there are some days I'm just like, no, I'm not coming. And then the coach would knock on the door and be like, we got to train. And I'm just like, no, today I can't train. I'm too sore. I'm 18 at this point. And he's like, no, you got to train. If you want to be the best, you got to train. So like he had to drag me out sometimes to train because I was that sore. It's not that I didn't want to train. I wanted to train, but it gets to a point where your legs are so sore and you can't move. And somehow the coach motivates you, and that's why you have coaches, to train and to be able to do all the kicks and so on. And, after your body warms up and after it cools down, you're done. You can't train anymore. So that was, I would say, the hardest training sessions outside of the turtle scene that I had described earlier. That was the hardest summer that I ever had. We were there for a few months. The hardest summer I ever had. But I don't think I would be the martial artist that I am today or when I was competing without that training. So I owe a lot to Coach Wang Jinbo. Well, actually to my whole team, right? So our team was Danny, Tony, myself, my brother, Ho Young Pak, Rich, Carlos.
Craig Seidman.
Yeah, Craig Seidman. So that we had a team that we trained together. And you don't become who you become without the group that you train with. So along with Coach Wang Jinbo, my brother, who was a really big influence on me, because when we went to college, he was the only person I could train with. And Danny and Tony and those guys, they would come up on the weekends and we would train together religiously. They would come over the weekends and we'd train like 6-8 hours during the weekends when they came to see me at school. But everyone influences you, and you don't become who you become without the influences of other people. So along with the training in China and my friends here, you become very good at martial arts. In this case, I had won pretty much all the major martial arts tournaments. Not pretty much. I had won all the major martial arts tournaments. And I was the first person, for the people who don't follow martial arts, to become... I had won all the tournaments that I competed in 1 year, and no person had ever done that before in martial arts competition. This is sport karate.
Yeah, in history.
So... and I thank all the people that I worked and trained with at that point to take me to that level in martial arts. But the training in China was, my goodness, it was hard. And I remember Coach Wang Jinbo, he said, if you just do this for 6 more months, because he thought, he saw some talent in me. So he said, if you do this for 6 more months, you'll be the best martial artist in the world. I can get you to be the best, in this case, sports martial arts, we're not talking UFC, right? This is more the martial arts aspect of martial arts, not the martial part, not just the fighting part. This is the martial arts part of it. So I remember Coach Wang Jinbo saying, if you could do this for 6 more months, if I could train you, you could be the best martial artist in the world. You have it in you. So that's how he would drag me out of bed every morning and afternoon when I wanted to rest, to motivate me to try to work out. So he was really good. And so I thank him very much for motivating me to work out.
So a little history on Wang Jinbo is that he was Jet Li's... right now, if you look at Jet Li, they say he started at 12, but he really didn't start at 12. He started at 4 years old with Wang Jinbo. But Coach Wang spoke out against the Chinese government and wanted it to be a democracy. So they basically erased part of his history, wouldn't give him credit for what he did, because they couldn't really throw him in jail because he was like a really high-profile coach. Yeah. High full of shifu and competitor. He was the first one to do a jumping kick into the splits.
That's right. He was the first person to do a jumping inside crescent into splits. That's right. He was the first person back in...
And not 70s. Land and then go into splits. In the air, he was in the splits, and he's the first person to do that.
That's right.
And they can jump really freaking high. So he's the first person to do that. So they were like, oh, we can't really throw him in jail, but we can punish him by erasing his history. So right now everybody's like, oh, Jet Li learned when he was 12, but in reality, Jet Li learned when he was 4. But that part of the history, the Chinese government got to erase.
Correct. A lot of the really good martial artists in Asia who are competitors, not the film people, competitors, they start when they're 4 or 5 years old. Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Training all day long.
Yeah, Facebook, add me as a friend on Facebook if you would like. Unfortunately, I don't go on Facebook very much, so if I don't see you, then just keep hounding me about it.
He does have an Instagram account. He never posts anything.
No, I talked him into doing an Instagram. He's going to start an Instagram.
So, yeah, I do have an Instagram account. I have it because I didn't want someone to take my name. I think I have a Twitter account, and I didn't want someone to take my name. I don't think I've posted anything yet. So maybe one day I'll start. So you guys got to motivate me to start posting stuff, and I will start doing it and hound Danny about hounding me about it, and I'll start doing it. But in general, I like to just go out and just do stuff. So I don't take too much time posting things. So if you guys want me to, I will certainly do it. But in general, I just don't think people are that interested in my life, so I don't do it. So, I just go about my own life.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you, checking up on me every once in a while. And if you guys could motivate me in the future, I will certainly do it. But as of right now, I don't do too much on social media.
And for me, I do stuff on Instagram, and I'm decent on Facebook. But Twitter, I suck on Twitter. I don't understand Twitter, so I haven't posted like in a month because I just don't understand it. You know what I mean? When I look at it, I see like brief sentences, but I don't know if I'm supposed to respond, or I don't know how to use Twitter. So if one of you can leave me some messages on Facebook of how to use Twitter and not on Twitter because I don't understand it, I would really appreciate that because I am a caveman.
Somebody hates Kung Fu. Well, you shouldn't hate Kung Fu. Kung Fu is great.
No, it's Nero said that. A character said that.
Oh, well then he's kind of an idiot. How old are you guys when you started martial arts? So I think I first started when I was 8 and I quit because I wanted to be a baseball player. I was pretty good in baseball, so I thought in my mind I was going to be a baseball player, a professional baseball player. And then I got back into martial arts because I saw Bruce Lee kicking some ass, and I thought I should do that.
Yeah.
So I got back into martial arts. I think hardcore 12, 13. So at that time is when I met Dan, and we started right away going to, I think, 4 hours a day, then 6 hours a day, then 8 hours a day, right?
Yeah.
From the get-go, right?
Yeah,
From the
we
jump
were
out.
friggin' on it. And Geek Gamer 23 messaged me. Is it 23 or 33? See my old man eyes. Geek Gamer, teach me how to be on Twitter. So message me.
Wait, somebody
Facebook
wrote something else and it went up. Oh, the moves. Did Jet Li...
Inspire.
So Jet Li, is he good in Wushu? Somebody asked. I think Jet Li's...
Right here. I got highlighted.
Yeah. Okay. Jet Li is very good in Wushu. In fact, he was a Wushu champion in China for many, many years. He's the guy, obviously, Coach Wang Jimbo taught him. So that's why I went to Coach Wang Jimbo. So Jet Li is very talented, and he's an incredible martial artist. The one thing that a lot of people don't know, and I'm going to have to burst this bubble, is Jet Li broke his kneecap doing, I believe, a jumping kick into splits. So when you see him on a lot of the films, in American films, after that, even Chinese films, he has a lot of stunt doubles that does his work for him. And I bring this up because people don't give stunt doubles or stunt people credit. Enough. And I'm giving them credit at this point. What I'm not saying is, I'm not saying Jet Li's not talented. He's super talented. But because he broke his kneecap, he wasn't able to do a lot of the moves that he normally could have done. So other people came in to do some of those moves. So you guys know, what happens with that. So is he talented? Yes. Was any of the moves in Mortal Kombat inspired by him? Absolutely not. Right? We like him and we think he's great. But in terms of the movement itself, Danny, myself, and a couple other people, we came up with all original moves. It was like, if you see the fireball, there was nobody else that did the fireball like that. It was my creation that did that. Danny, when he did some of his moves, it was his movements that he did. So it was us. Are we inspired by people? My inspiration is probably more Bruce Lee rather than Jet Li. And I'm not sure who Danny's inspiration is, but...
yeah, I love Bruce. I love Jackie. I like Donnie Yen. I love anybody. I'm a really kung fu geek.
No, Danny's a kung fu geek. I will say that. So I am not. So the one person that inspired me was Bruce Lee, and I think Jackie also is very talented, right? And I really appreciate what Jackie has done, and obviously what Jet Li has done. But in terms of inspiration-wise, and in terms of like what inspired me to be great in martial arts was Bruce Lee. It was, and that was it. But yeah, Danny's a geek about martial arts, and he knows everything and anything like trivia stuff, and he would be the person that would be inspired by all these people and like other moves and so on. Me, not so much so. And I'm not so much a martial arts geek. I love martial arts for what it is and what you can do with it. And I recommend everyone to do martial arts. And I say this because it can help every other aspect of your life, right? So in school, my undergrad degree is in electrical engineering, and my master's degree is in business. And I would have probably never done as well without the martial arts training to help give you the discipline and just the focus that you need to have to get those degrees. And I did pretty well in school. And my brother has a PhD in electrical engineering and a master's degree in business also. And for him to have done as well, he was also a martial arts, a lover of martial arts. So I recommend that to everybody. So everyone who's on this feed, even if you just do a little bit of martial arts, take a little bit of training from Danny or follow his feeds or whatever Danny has out on his YouTube. Just do a little bit, and I'll tell you what, it will help you. It will help you in different aspects of life.
Jade. Okay.
I'm waiting for people up here.
Oh, okay. Thanks for joining us, Jasper. Get some rest.
Bruce Lee was the master in my opinion. Yes, I agree. When people make Chuck Norris jokes, I see Bruce Lee kick. Yeah, Chuck Norris is also very talented. I just happen to like Bruce Lee more. That's Chuck Norris, I'm sure, is great in his in the things that he does. But Bruce just happened to be the person that I was inspired by. Not too many people could do one thumb push-up, right? Not too many people could do what he was shredded. Like even if you ask bodybuilders, and you look at Bruce Lee's physique, even the bodybuilders would be impressed and be like, holy cow, how did he get that shredded? How did he get that strong? I think he weighed like 135. Yeah. It was really, in terms of size-wise, but he packed a punch. Like he knew every single ounce of his muscle, what to do with it.
So we have time for a few more.
Yeah, just a few more questions.
Yeah, we'll end it down at a hard 8 o'clock. So
I know Shane.
Okay. I did not do Turtles 1. We did Turtles 2 and Turtles 3.
Yeah, they got some guys from Hong Kong to do Turtles 1, but they wouldn't come back to do Turtles 2 because being in the suits for Turtles 1 was so grueling. They were like they refused to come back, right?
And to give Pat Johnson credit, he said, I can get 4 really amazing martial artists to be in the turtle suit and a bunch of really amazing foot soldiers to do the reactions. So really it was Pat Johnson's call, I think. And I think it worked out really well.
Yeah.
Try asking, can you talk about being such an important part of video game history? Like, obviously, like, again, the impact that you have had on the video game community has just been a tremendous thing. You've inspired people to get into martial art, not only get into martial arts, but get into competitive gaming. And again, you've motivated people to travel from all over the world to come meet you because you have had such an impact on them. And it's such a rare thing.
I think we don't really know that we made history because when we made the game, we were having fun. It was a group of friends having fun. 2, we were just in it to make a really cool game. It wasn't really about like money because we weren't making any money, but it wasn't really about that or to change history or anything like that. It was just a work of heart and fun. We're working with this and we decide to do this and we take a look at it and we could change it and we're collaborating with John on creating his vision because he had a vision, but it wasn't really clear because there was nothing ever done like that. So as we're doing the moves, we were always changing or talking about doing the moves or taking a look at it and creating the most of the background story for MK during those times. So it wasn't like that.
But I also think that being a part of the game in terms of what we did with it after we created the game, we went out on like tours, like in England and some in America, and to see, what's amazing is the community itself, and to meet the people, and people who enjoyed playing the game, enjoyed meeting the people who created the game. So to be a part of Mortal Kombat history, I think it really is an amazing thing that, it really happened out of nothing, right? There was nothing, and we created this something, and now we get a chance to talk to the people who enjoy the game and who follow some of our lives. And I think just that in itself, being able to interact with people, being able to have something in common to talk about and enjoy, and to have like a history or a past together, that even though we did not connect in our past, we have a past to talk about. I think that is really what is amazing about Mortal Kombat and what it has done for our lives. Danny more so than myself, because Danny does more the events and so on, and I have not. I purposely stayed away from it because I enjoy other aspects, doing other things, filmmaking, and working out, and traveling, and there are other things I enjoy. But as Danny is trying to get me back into the Mortal Kombat world, as I talk to you guys, I do enjoy it more and more. So the world that was created is an incredible world, and I hope to see you guys and talk to you guys on the future as Danny kind of drags me back into this world.
And Justin wanted to know, what's your favorite food?
Oh, interesting. For me, I'm Korean, so I like Korean food, but seafood is probably in the realm of being my favorite foods. And of course you like a nice tender steak fillet, but seafood like crab legs, lobster, any seafood. I'm good with any seafood.
Any last words from you guys? You guys want to plug anything? Let the stream know where they can find you, or
I can't be found, so I got nothing to plug.
I'll get Hosung on there. I'll start bugging. But you can follow me at Master D Pesina on Instagram is the best place, and then Facebook is Master Pesina is the second place. I have a personal page, but I don't really respond quickly on it because it becomes overwhelming. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, because I do martial arts, so I don't have like 2 hours to go through like 50 million messages. So, and I feel bad, but I try to do as best as I can. But Instagram is a good place. Email is masterpesina@gmail is a email. But if you look at any of the sites, because I teach martial arts, you could do that. But if you go to Instagram, you can learn some martial arts through the Instagram, because I always post videos.
And everyone should learn martial arts, like I said. They said, would they film a digitized game now? Maybe. I think maybe they'll come back to that because the technology is so awesome at this point. And in terms of any last words, what I want to say is all the people that wrote in, that's awesome. I appreciate that. And normally I don't do these type of things, but being here and talking with you guys here, and the people who write all these comments, I do appreciate it, and it takes me back. And I don't normally reminisce and talk about the past and so on, but it is nice, I will say. I did have a really good time talking to you guys and reminiscing with Danny. I will say this: Danny, was when we first started martial arts. This is I won't even say how many years ago, but when we first started martial arts, Danny was the one that always got us together and been like, okay, guys, let's go and let's do it. And he was kind of the cheerleader of the group in the beginning. So for all of us to get together, the group. So for him to have brought Mortal Kombat to life is something that I very much appreciate. And for you guys to all know that Danny was the one that asked me and basically cheerleaded the whole Mortal Kombat thing, at least from my perspective. And John Tobias obviously is the person that Danny worked with on it. So in terms of Mortal Kombat, that would be my my words on Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, and mine, it's always awesome to hang out with my friends. So only thing I'm going to say is remember to take care of each other. During these hard times, it's really difficult. So don't forget to enjoy Galloping Ghost Arcade while you can, because when it's gone, you're going to be, crap, I didn't go there, and I don't want to hear whining of how you didn't make it up here, or how you didn't come over here to hang out with me and Hosung when he's here, or me and Rich, or anything like that. now is the time to plan and do it because nothing is given till tomorrow.
And
also take care of yourself.
Yes. As we go, we'll read the final comments. So if you guys want to leave anything else for us, just leave it and we'll take a real quick read at it. And if you guys try to friend me on Facebook, because I do have a page, I think I reached my limit. So if you can't, and I don't have a
Fan page?
I don't have a fan page because I think, and also I think it's kind of, it's weird. I think the people that do have it, it's a little vain on their part to do it. And I always try to stay away from that world. I guess I have to one day do it because for some reason, Facebook limits you to 5,000 friends, right? Or something like that, which is kind of silly. Because what if you have more than 5,000 friends? So maybe one day I'll create something like that. But I just didn't want to think that it should be a fan page. I feel like that's kind of silly. So that's my perspective, guys.
All
Okay,
right.
we'll read some and then we'll kick off.
Yeah. And also saying we're on Instagram with Hosung. Saying good night to you guys. Pórtense bien. Nos vemos de rato. Cuídense. Hosung, you say.
Good night. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Nos vemos pronto. Okay? Get out of here.
On that, we will wrap up this Galloping Ghost podcast. We thank you all so much for being here. Thank you so much to the legends of Mortal Kombat, Master Daniel Pesina and Hosung Pak for being here. Huge thanks to Waffles for all your efforts in producing this stream today. We'll be back on Friday with another Twitch stream, a live raid at Troy Smith's warehouse. Very excited for that, so make sure you join us then. And then, of course, we'll be back on Monday Mystery. And then after that, back on Wednesday with another podcast. So until then, thanks everybody. This is Doc Mack from the Galloping Ghost Arcade, and we hope to see you around the arcade soon. Thanks a lot, everybody.